About that time.
Let's get 'em. Max out. I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this hair, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter. They old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level. Ride like a bike pedal, hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show. Ready now, fire. Revolution. I'm here with the solution. Top contender. I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time. Kick 'em out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it. Let's get it. Come with the ambush. Now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning. You'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit. All I know is winning. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Here we go, trying to go in for the infiltration, and really it's AKO that's going to be having a very hard time. Auto knockout seems to be like, one is knocked down, McRory yet again with a god name.
Having one player alone try to survive all the way into the final zone is going to be absolutely impossible. Beautiful knock onto Ren, and once again Cobra will be able to strike with a well-placed nade, and now trying to take the glue wall down. They should be able to get there in time for the wipeout. Ajin goes down, Cobra manages to eliminate.
As Rosso holds the fort and prevents everyone from outside to come into the zone, to the compound. Everybody is best to bring his teammates back out. Decos will go in for the disruption. The glue wall is going to buy a bit of time, but it's going to hurt so much for the blue zone and RNG's today.
Crazy, it seems like it's opposite day right now.
Oh, absolutely! These are the eyes you have to keep! These are the teams you have to watch! MCP Majors Season 2! That fire has been lit in those little bellies! Yeah, boy! You shake that off! You do that strut, Jumbo! You deserve it! not much compound to work with. He is still going to be stuck there. Hopefully, for this. Oh, the nade coming right back to Taken. He doesn't get taken out by it. Thankfully, jumps away in the nick of time. Goes in for the backstab, but unfortunately does not go in for a takedown. Tosses out a nade. Still alive. Pulls out a glue wall and heals himself right back up. But Bloody Heads, they definitely are going in here for the Juggernaut victory. And they should be able to find Goku. Yet another kill for Bloody Heads to pick up. A nade after nade getting popped in through and Goku eliminated. Wow, but it is taken out of nowhere. That steals the kill. Auto knockout. Dirty, dirty play, boys.
Triple kill. Shut down. Latte kill. Latte kill.
Hey yo, Moco,
What up, Shiro?
about that time.
Let's get 'em. Max out. I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this hair, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter. They old and bitter, I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it at all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
go, trying to go in for the infiltration, and really it's AKO that's going to be having a very hard time. Auto knockout seems to be like, one is knocked out, McRory in again with a god name.
Having one player alone try to survive all the way into the final zones is going to be absolutely impossible. Beautiful knock onto Ren, and once again Cobra will be able to strike with a well-placed nade, and now trying to take the glue wall down. They should be able to get there in time for the wipeout. Ajin goes down. Cobra manages to eliminate.
As Rosso holds the fort and prevents everyone from outside to come into the zone, to the compound. Everybody is best to bring his teammates back out. Decos will go in for the disruption. The glue wall is going to buy a bit of time, but it's going to hurt so much for the blue zone and RNG's today.
Crazy, it seems like it's opposite day right now.
Oh, absolutely! These are the eyes you have to keep! These are the teams you have to watch! MCP Majors Season 2! That fire has been lit in those little bellies! Yeah, boy! You shake that off! You do that strut jumbo! You deserve it! Not much compound to work with. He is still going to be stuck there. Hopefully, for this. Oh, the nade coming right back to Taken. He doesn't get taken out by it. Thankfully, jumps away in the nick of time. Goes in for the backstab, but unfortunately does not go in for a takedown. Tosses out a nade. Still alive. Pulls out a glue wall and heals himself right back up. But bloody heads. They definitely are going in here for the Juggernaut victory, and they should be able to find Goku. Yet another kill for Bloody Heads to pick up. A nade after nade getting popped in through, and Goku eliminated. Wow, but it is taken out of nowhere. That steals the kill. Auto knockout. Dirty, dirty playboys.
Triple kill. Shut down. Blockade kill. Blockade kill.
The one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this here, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter, they old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal, hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution. motion. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it? Let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
Here we go, trying to go in for the infiltration, and really it's AKO that's going to be having a very hard time. Auto knockout seems to be like, one is knocked out, McRory yet again with the...
Hello everyone and welcome back to the MCP Majors. It is week 6, the final week for our teams to grab their points and to make it to the final stage of the MCP Majors Season 2. My name is Danielle and you're probably wondering who is on my side over here. It is none other than Icy Baby. For anyone that is very well attuned with Season 1, you'll know him. How you doing, buddy?
Yo, it's been a long time, Danielle. It's great to be back once again to see one of the most amazing teams from all around Malaysia, Cambodia, as well as Philippines competing for that #1 spot. In this case, we are at the league stages. It's great to be back here in the final week, especially where we are going to be seeing the teams kind of flex themselves and go for the last-minute grind to make their slots in towards the playoffs. So this is something that I'm looking forward to talk about here, especially in this final weeks here. But Danielle, talk us through this, because it seems like a lot of teams are kind of, experimenting over the weeks as well. We did see like Supreme Assault Forces being one of the top dog contenders after the over weeks here. What are your thoughts on the what are we going to be expecting coming in towards this final week?
So I think the biggest thing that all of us are going to be watching out for are the teams that are going to make it to the top 12, right? Mm-hmm. Top 12, you make it to the final stage. If you're 13th and below, then unfortunately this is going to be the last hurrah for you. So it's going to be those bottom teams trying to gun for at least that 12th spot. And so far, we had a little bit of banter before the show, and it seems like 12th and 11th, they're probably the most open spots right now. 10 might be a little out of reach unless a team has a really good day and one of our bottom contending teams has a terrible day.
Okay, so based a little bit stats of what you're tell me that is that we are down towards the final 8 teams. But before we get a little bit more details into that, these are your prize pool. For those of you who are still new to the league stages here, these are going to be the spots that all these teams are going to be competing for this prize pool spot. With the first place here with $2,000, second place 1,800, third place 1,600, fourth place $1,400, fifth place $1,200, sixth place $1,000, seventh place 800, eighth place 800, and ninth place 800.
So essentially what we're looking at here is either the teams are competing for that top 12th spot, whereas for the teams at the top of the bracket, they're aiming for an extra $200 on top of what they're currently earning. So the important places we're looking at here is 7th to 1st. If you're 7th to 9th, you're sitting on a flat 800, so you're not really looking at much of a change. But of course, off the back of just a really good performance, I'd say just try and aim for that extra 200. But
I guess.
Speaking of the next stage, right? We've got the final stage, and this is where the big money is at. This is what all the teams are really competing for. That first place, $15,000 just for first place.
Wow, that's a lot of money here coming from the first place into towards the final stage and coming towards the playoffs as well. Like, you know, as long as you make it to the playoffs, you are guaranteed a $400 from the 12th place onwards. But of course, you know, the first place seems to be, you know, being called the best of the best out of all Malaysia, Cambodia, as well as Philippines. Is going to be bragging rights for their countries as well as for their teams. And currently, based on what we have seen so far, Supreme Assault Forces looking to be the top contenders, expecting to take the cake here when they hit into the final stage. However, second place, $7,000, third place, $4,000. It's quite a big dip right here, I must say, Danielle.
It's a pretty big dip, but at the end of the day, everyone's going to be gunning for first place, right? Like, there's no way in the world you should be thinking like, oh, I just want top 5. No, we don't have that here. You've got to aim for that top spot, that first place. So it's a race, really, at the end of the day, because we might look at the brackets now and think like, oh, SAF is going to have it easy. I kind of disagree, because if we take a look at the team's performances for the past 3 weeks, that's what we should be looking at to see who's going to be a strong contender going into the final stage. But speaking of the final stage, to get there, you got to earn some points, right?
Yep, exactly here. And to remind you guys here as well, every single team is going to be competing for this point system here. If you want to rack some points to get number 1 spot, this is how you are going to be getting it. First place is going to be getting yourself 12 points, second place 9 points, third place 8 points, fourth place 7, fifth 6, fifth 5 points, 7th place 4 points, 8th place 3 points, 9th place 2 points, 10th place 1 point, and 11th and 12th place will get 0 points. However, you can also get yourself a point if you get yourself some kills. So teams might diverge in terms of strategies between both kill points as well as placement points. So over the weeks here, I'm pretty sure everyone is very accustomed to these points, but I do need to remind you, in case of you new viewers watching out there, this is how the teams are going to be fighting for their number of spots.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting to see how some of these teams approach the points. Now, speaking of the points, we're going to take a look at our schedule for today. We've got no Kalahari at all, which means Purgatory and Bermuda are going to be the maps that our teams are going to have to set their eyes upon. And playstyle-wise, the maps are very similar. You don't really have that distinct playstyle we see from some of the teams on Kalahari, but I'm always down to see Bermuda because that is such a crazy and fast-paced map.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see Bermuda a little bit more as well here. I definitely miss it a little bit more. But to warm things up here, Purgatory is going to be a pretty bloodbath here. Some say it is very circle-oriented. Some say it is very earlier rotation-wise in that particular map. So, I don't know. Are we going to be seeing some really freaky stuff? Or are we going to see like a huge contest when it comes to experimental phase? Because little did they know. We know for a fact that Group A, Group B, there is going to be a big shift between drop spots for all the teams thus far. But eventually, some of them is got to experiment on solidifying their drop spots heading in towards the playoffs. But nevertheless, that is going to be the schedule so far. Now, let's talk shop a little bit more. The overall standings is where we are at. Like you said as well, Danielle, this is the final week here in MCP. We are looking for the 12 teams heading into the final stage. And currently on the first place, we have Supreme Assault Forces here, Danielle.
Yeah, I mean, everyone always talks about the top teams. I want to take a look at the bottom teams, right? Because that's where the real race is. Now, I may have said earlier on that 10th may have been out of reach. It looks like my information was outdated. So the 11, 10, and 12. I mean, ignore the ordering, okay? It's too early in the morning for me. But looking at these 3 positions, it is way open for Freedom Rumble and Metrics to possibly take. Unfortunately, I think it might be out of Zeth Squad's reach, but these 3 spots, they are absolutely open, and all it takes is for these teams to have a good week. And this is the final week. So essentially, if you screw this week up, that's it. You're not going to make it to top 12.
Okay, so let me do a little bit of math here. Courtesy of Howler for giving you some good stats. Technically, Supreme Assault Forces has pretty much gained the most points in a single day, which is around 70-ish points. So shout out to Howler, who's going to be casting for us today. So technically, if we were to say in this final 2 days here, if we have a miracle run, scoring themselves 140 points here, technically, Umbrella Reborn is still not out of it yet, I guess. Would you say that's a pretty decent number here, Galilee?
Okay, going off the numbers, right? I mean, this dream run of yours is a real dream because SAF were able to get that many points because they were pretty much just dominating their groups. I don't see that being a possibility for Umbrella and Zeth Squad just based off the performance that we've seen for the past 5 weeks. Like, these teams, they tend to finish towards the middle to the bottom of the bracket. They don't really get too many points. Zeth has gotten 2 booyahs, but up until this point, I just don't see it happening.
Well, technically, based on the screen right now here, for those guys who are wondering who to be watching out for, it's going to be definitely Supreme Assault Forces, PXG Radicals, as well as FastQ. And why they are the top 3 as of now, based on the league standings. And I'm not going to lie, this is, we've been watching on the top teams for the number of time. They have been performing every single time. And currently, PXG Radicals having the most amount of booyahs thus far in the league stages, and they're looking to take the crown here as being one of the strongest top contenders. But that's the thing, right? They have the most amount of booyahs. You have to take into account as well that Supreme Assault Forces has the highest amount of points. It just shows you that they are very kill-oriented. These are perfect examples of 2 very distinct play styles when it comes to getting points. One being placements and consistency, one being kill-oriented here, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all been on this SAF hype train, and I honestly believe when we go into the final stage, our eyes are not going to be on SAF. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of SAF's points, the team has shown consistency. I think that's been a key word on this stream. We use it far too often, and we should start a game with it. But looking at how some of these other teams are performing for the remaining 3 weeks, I don't think SAF is going to be as strong as we think they are going into the final stage. This is not to absolutely shut down SAF, but it's just from just observing these teams, you can really see that some of the teams coming into these final weeks, they really, really, really have the fire in their eyes.
That's why we gotta watch out for the final stages, man. Like, it's pretty insane as well, because a lot of teams are preparing to be focusing on being the number 1 team by the end of the final stages, and it makes a lot of sense, considering that SAF. I see where you're getting at, just because of how much screen time SAF has gotten throughout the weeks here. I'm pretty sure eventually somebody's gonna figure out the strategy or a way to actually shut them down towards the final stage. But as of yet here, for those guys tuning in as well, we have a special surprise for you here, and that is gonna be the 2 times Monster God box loot, which is gonna be appearing somewhere along the streams here. So you gotta stick around to find out, to redeem yourself some amazing codes.
Yep, so make sure you stick around. And when you do see the code, do share it with your friends, your family. This is not a first come, first serve code. Everyone can claim it, but there is a catch. The catch is it expires at the end of this stream. So as soon as the stream is over, you won't be able to claim the code anymore. So do claim it, stick around, make sure you catch the code, and at least share it with all your buddies. Now,
thank you for that warning, Danny. Like, I'm literally the kind of guy where I don't watch the show, and I'll just scroll back like yesterday's video and alternate tab, and eventually look through for the codes for last like yesterday's shows or the previous week's one. So now that you're telling me that I have to watch the stream to get the code, is that right?
I mean, you need to claim it at least while the stream is live. Oh. That's the real catch. So once the stream is over, that code is not available anymore. So make sure you claim it. All right. So something that we're all looking forward to, it's going to be our first grouping of the day. It's A versus B, and we're going to be starting off on Purgatory. Now, of course, everyone's going to be thinking this is SAF's group. They've got this in the bag. Well, looking at that week's performance last week, SAF were a little underwhelming. I think because of their strong performance from the first couple of weeks, everyone built this very, very tall wall of expectations on SAF, right? And then we are disappointed, but in essence, like, it really doesn't matter. What we need to be looking at are the bottom tier teams contending in these two groups, and how are they going to be able to get points from some of the behemoths that are competing in the groups.
It makes a lot of sense, considering that, we talked about this, like, there's just so much speculation. Unless we get like a proper interview between the teams, we will have a little bit more insights on what they actually think about the game. Is it, them experimenting, or is it another team kind of crashing towards their usual compounds, or etc. In this case, like I said as well, SFF, they are going to be the teams to be watching out for as well. They are the teams that everybody's going to be setting their eyes for when towards the playoffs. So I feel like currently it doesn't even matter that much, even if they lose the games. And I agree with you, Danley, the bottom 12 are going to be the ones that we are going to be watching out for making into the final weeks. But before that, Danley, is there anything you want to say before we start the show?
Nope, I think let the games begin, right? So it looks like the players are always ready to drop into the match as well. So we're going to throw it over to our beloved casters. Paula, you're on the casting desk? And with Husky as well? Wait, why are you not here with me?
So you don't want me? Danny, how
I'm gonna
could
ask
you?
Paula, tell me what's up. What's happened? Why are you not here?
Hello from the other side.
Yeah, hello from the other side. Yes, it's me, and I've gotten Holler as my co-caster for this weekend. And of course, I'm stealing him away from the host desk and putting us on the same table, I would say, side by side. But most importantly, I love me some optimism from IC Baby and Danny, especially from IC Baby, bringing up the topic of a miracle run by Umbrella Reborn. Now we have to really get into it, right? It's a hot take. 140 points by the end of week number 6. Do you think that's possible?
Let's be realistic. When SAF scored that 76-point monster, they had about 39 kills in that day, right? Do I expect them to have 39 kills in 2 days, like for both, 39 today and tomorrow? Probably not going to happen. Let's be realistic, right? Unless, of course, we're looking to kind of change things up. I think you're going to see a little bit more movement. I think that, unfortunately, Umbrella Reborn and Cannot Brain and Zet Squad are mathematically eliminated. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that now. It's going to be very difficult for them to get in. But the biggest ones for me, and that's going to be Metrics, Freedom Rumble, Argon Malaysia, Woos. All of these guys are kind of making their way up. Argon Malaysia with a monster 55-point game. They're into the 12th spot. Big shout out to them for that. Do Easy with 39 points, but they moved up 3 spots as well into the 10th position here. And then we're going to see them into Group B. These teams are angry, and I expect to see more momentum coming out of them.
Touche. And I think probably the biggest surprise is us looking at Freedom Rumble dropping out of top 12 for now. Metrics also out of top 12. These guys were once there. Metrics are at least in top 10. Freedom Rumble was once top 5. But how the great have fallen. And they're not really having a good game, at least for the last week. FRU has been point rounds very frequently. And things doesn't feel like they're going to get any better because they have hard drop into the same place as the one and only Almighty.
Yeah, Freedom Rumble, they play that aggressive feast or famine play style, right? And a lot of the times, and lately, they've been hitting a lot of the famine part. They've only gotten 14 points in the last day. They dropped 3 spots into 13th place. They are on the outside looking in. They really need to make something happen. And again, they're going up against a powerhouse of Almighty, who are in the 8th position. They definitely need to be careful. Probably look to just survive. Maybe you look to avoid this team here.
And seeing Freedom Rumble run away would be a sight to behold, right? They are not a team to back down from a challenge. But when you're in this position, sometimes playing a survival game, like you mentioned, it feels like the better decision. But it also depends on what Almighty wants to do. Here in Brasilia, there's a lot of houses, but unfortunately, there's also a lot of open grounds. And FRU feels like they're trapped. Jay-Z is taking point on that rooftop. The rest of Almighty pretty much spread out. Freedom Rumble, they don't really have much space to work with. Let's see what they come up with. It seems like they intend to still rotate away, and they immediately do so towards the south side of the area.
Mm-hmm. And Freedom Rumble and Almighty right in the middle, Neo Brasilia. Not a bad start to the map, at least, considering you don't really know where the circle is going to be. It's probably best to be centralized. You do need to be careful about the river there's not a whole lot of movement that you can go on. But if we're looking at PXG Insanity, look at this this car/spaceship. What do you think about this one here?
It's cool. I always enjoy the cosmetics of vehicles in the game. right? He just transformed a normal car into a spaceship. I feel that looks like a Lambo. You know, I'm just throwing names out there. I'm not good with cars.
Yeah, so we've got that. But all right, Metrics here. This is another team that's kind of been struggling, right? They're 14th place here. They need to just make sure that they stay alive. If anything, they've got a nice little fortification here in Brasilia here. But they might meet up with Freedom Rumble, who are nearby. He could kind of pick them off if he really wanted to peek this one.
And I think for Metrics, if they somehow take out Freedom Rumble, this is going to put them closer to the 12th spot. But it also will drag it will set Freedom Rumble back by 1 extra round. With where Manchai is right now, I feel like he probably would have gotten some information. You can see Ren OP is also making his own move. A lot of noise is being made by Freedom Rumble right now. They're running around in those compounds, and all those footsteps would kind of echo through this very quiet town of Brasilia, at least in this southern side. So Metrics, I think they have an inkling of where FRU is going to be.
Yeah, they're looking for that ambush. They're staying very quiet. They're doing a little bit more scouting more than anything else. Freedom Rumble have been running around, and it looks like they're going to mate with Mankai, and he looks for the ambush. The time turner's been used, and Rim gets the nice little knock right there. That's going to start things off, and it looks like it's going to go over. Safik gets knocked as well. They've got glue walls galore, and it looks like the first kill is going to be there with X-Rin with a nice little ambush by Metrics.
Yeah, and those glue walls going to allow them to kind of reset themselves. Like you mentioned, they spring the trap, and Freedom Rumble got caught completely off guard. Metrics, they were there first, and all they had to do is wait. But Almighty, they also want a piece of this, and they run straight into the spray down of Ren OP. 2 members of Almighty, they get dropped down, but they're still not out just yet. In fact, it's going to be 3, so Ren will be the guy that tries to revive everyone. They still lose Shira towards the tail end of things, but at least Almighty still is not out just yet. Jay-Z, though, wants some revenge, and he's going to get Shafi with X-Spot 77, still getting those kills out. Jay-Z, somehow, with the help of those blue walls, was able to hold on. Just barely, though. They lost both Ren and Shira as Almighty kind of biting on more than they can chew.
Yeah, taking off too much. I think this is a little bit dangerous here. Jay-Z's just trying to stay alive, trying to heal back up. Freedom Rumble are on the prowl. It looks like there's going to be a third-party action going in, and it looks like Jay-Z's going to be super patient, trying to be quiet, make sure that he's not giving away his position. Batman is on the high end, probably, you know, using his in the back cave more than anything else. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything and save his friend as Freedom Rumble look to loot the rest of the buildings there.
And I'm just happy that Metrics made the decision to instantly run away. They spring the trap for Freedom Rumble. Almighty ended up biting the bait, and now Metrics, they're like, all right, you guys can fight it out on yourself. You know, the winner probably is gonna face us later on. PSG Radicals also has a plan to go aggressive straight into the dens of SAF. They really want to take the crown, but SAF is not a force to be trifled with. And Insanity kind of out in the open will have to use that inhaler to relocate himself. The grenades are being tossed out pretty early on, but Tanamo does get that first drop onto Daemoon, and SAF facing a lot of heat from PXG Radicals. Insanity fights second one. McRory also gets down, and let's go. It does not have much to work with. A quick and decisive execute from PXG Radicals. They take out SAF.
SAF, they had only 22 points in the last game, and they are definitely within reach of PXG Radicals, who are in the second place team right now. They were about 60 points away, definitely possible, especially with SAF getting eliminated there with 11. But hey, PXG, Tanamo, turning it up, those grenades were on point, and just the way that they approach that is like completely caught SAF off guard. They thought they were the kings of this world, but it looks like they've turned into the peasants. And
what is I believe in some prophecy and Bibles, the place where if you get sent to a realm of purgatory, is all about, you know, kind of paying for your sins. And I think SAF are facing that right now with just PXG Radicals. I don't think anyone expected that level of execution. It felt like PXG has been waiting for this for 6 weeks, and they finally pulled off the biggest one on SAF. Like you mentioned, it's going to put them so much closer to potentially taking over that first place by the end of the league. And sure, it's not just for bragging rights, it's not just for, you know, that first place prize pool, but it's also a show of force, and PSG Radicals are continuing that trajectory.
Yeah, that's where you want to be. You want to be on the up and up, right? Especially going into the final one. You do not want to have that momentum. That's a big confidence, like, killer if you're going to go in and all of a sudden you start losing. If you lose first place as SAF, this is going to be one of the ultimate upsets. This is a team that had no business losing first place. They had such a huge lead. They had monster games, but the past 2 or 3 days have not been great for them. They really need to pick things up, and getting eliminated 11th, and I'm sure they're kind of like, oh, this is a warm-up game, but hey, you're running out of warm-up games to kind of continue on in the league here. You got to keep that first place.
Yeah, and SAF is probably the only team that has not moved from their spot ever since they got there. They never dropped out of first place. Even PSG Radicals was fluctuating between second and third for a period of time before they cement themselves as the second best team in the league stage right now. But if SAF gets overtaken, then we would have a grand finals on our hands for sure. PSG Radicals so far still kind of getting control of this high ground where they dropped SAF early on. They have Metrics on that southeastern side, Blacklist International on the northwest side. With those high ground control, I think PSG Radicals can just camp for a bit.
Yeah, they can take it easy. I mean, this is a team that's known to take good fights. They make sure that they have an advantage or, some sort of surprise. They did that with SAF, and it looks like they're going to continue to do that just to stay alive. You need to ensure that this is a battle royale. You need to have as many people as possible up, to the maximum health and getting all the inventory that you need to ensure that when that last circle is coming in, you've got the grenades and all the glue walls and everything to make sure that you have the right amount of inventory to kind of keep yourself in that fight. Freedom Rumble, on the other hand, they've down a player here. They need to play a little bit more cautious. They're continuing to loot and trying to find what they can, but they are kind of running out in the open a little bit, something that they need to be careful about.
And Freedom Rumble somehow was able to make it out of that predicament. As same as Almighty, they were basically breeding right beside each other at one point, but both teams disengaged. Because the Almighty, they're actually kind of taking a swim towards the western island where Argon and MY is on, maybe just to kind of distance themselves from the main crowd. But Bloody Hit, they have found themselves a prey, and it's going to be Mantai from Metrics. Metrics, they are down to just 2 members, and with Morgana having Mantai trapped in that trailer, there's pretty much going to be his graveyard. The rest of Bloody Hit are already here, the grenades are getting tossed in, and Mantai, he is living on borrowed time.
Yeah, he was the last one. Metrics gets blown up there. Morgana, just the ultimate bully there. But Bloody Head, this is a team that's also on the rise. They've moved up 3 spots into the 9th position right here. They've had some pretty good past couple days with 45 points and 37. This is a team that you need to be careful about. We thought they were on the, not going to even make it into the top 12, but Bloody Head really turning it up here as they just kind of eliminate Metrics right there.
And Bloody Head, they are the only team in top 12 with 0 booyahs. They have not won a single round. But I guess as Bloody Head fans of those who have been watching their journey since season 1 of the MCP Major, it is a breath of fresh air. You would feel happy for Bloody Head just for the fact that they're in top 12 right now. Obviously, their spot is not entirely secured. A couple of bad rounds from them and a couple of good rounds from those underneath them is going to shift the balance. But the fact that Bloody Head even stepped foot to qualify for the grand finals is something really refreshing.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. I don't think I've seen too many teams that do that without getting any single booyahs. They're the only one, aside from Umbrella Reborn, Cannot Brain, and Enigmax, who are no longer in this league. Those 3 teams, there's 4 teams that have not gotten a single booyah, and considering Bloody Head is 9th position, that says a lot about the fact that they're, mechanically sound in getting those kills. Bloody Head, again, just kind of unloading here on fast kill on Ali. He's just kind of isolated all by himself.
And the only difference between Bloody Head and Almighty is the kill score. These 2 teams actually share the same placement points of 208 as of this round. And the only difference is Almighty has 162 kills and Bloody Head has 113. That is where the big difference is. Bloody Head not that good in terms of firepower if we compare them to Almighty side by side. But it also shows us that this team, despite having no booyahs and winning 0 rounds, they're pretty good at surviving nonetheless, getting those placement points when they need it the most.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's a testament to the team. I think they have good strategy, right? Sometimes, when you get that first place, that booyah, sometimes you get a little lucky. I think they've been a little unlucky in that sense, but they're still managing themselves in a good prime position to make sure that they're in the grand finale. And that's what you want to be in terms of the big dance. Make sure that you have that opportunity that maybe you can get the booyah in the grand finale because that's where you really need it.
And I think 2 weeks ago, B-Mami did bring up a good point, right, about Bloody Head. Morgana is the guy that you always have to keep your eyes on. He is the clutch master of the team. But by his side, they also have Mark, which has been an integral member of Bloody Head since season 1. And I think it's about time Bloody Head kind of gets the credit that they deserve, right? We've been laughing at them at season 1. We've been making fun of, okay, Bloody Head, they're the kryptonite of the kings, when they play freely, when they stop caring about placements, they actually play better. Now it's a different ballgame. They need to be worried about their placings. They need to care a bit more where they end up by the end of the league. But at the same time, it's not like they're playing any worse. they are in fact slowly evolving and playing better Free Fire, with each passing round.
I think we've seen that throughout the league, right? I think a lot of the teams are just starting to find their groove, and I understand that this is like the day 11 of 12. I mean, you definitely are getting better as you practicing more against these teams, understanding tendencies and all that. But I feel like there's been a lot of growth just from day one to now. Every team has gotten better to some certain degree.
And I think Tactical Intex is one of those teams that you can you can kind of just raise the topic of growth, and a lot of people might disagree because they started off as one of the dark horses. No one looked at Tactical Intex and would instantly say that, okay, these guys are going to be in top 5, but here they are 6 weeks later in top 5. Overtaking Forex-Man Expert, overtaking Almighty and Blacklist International, and putting themselves within touching distance of AKO Legend and even FastQ MY.
Yeah, Tactical Intex, they're a grower, not a shower, and they've actually proven it as they've gotten to the elusive or the top 5 at this point, which is a huge testament to, again, what you just said in the sense that this is a team that's really gotten better. They've seen a lot of that, and we'll talk more about this team as we go into the Group C matches. But, another team that we really like is PXG Radicals. This is another one. Ray Miel, he's the ultimate MVP. This guy gets his a whole bunch of kills. Obviously, he has the donut right now, but this is a team that you need to be careful about. I think SAF really need to be worried. Hey, they had a fight, a 4-on-4 even fight, and they got completely wiped out, didn't get a single kill on PXG Radicals. That just proves just how strong this team is mechanically.
And PXG Radicals have not moved from that area ever since they, took it forcefully from SAF. Now they are overlooking a number of teams. You have Bloodyhead, Do Easy, Blacklist International, and perhaps Wheels, who is very far on that northwestern side. But you can see Almighty and FastQ MY, they're about to crash a party. Freedom Rumble, they were just chilling, but FastQ MY, they are the ringleaders right now, and they're about to go in for the hunt.
Mm-hmm. I feel like PXG Radicals are kind of, I don't know if they're teabagging the dead bodies of SAF, but they're definitely stepping over the corpses, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think they're doing that as well. Just looting the corpse, and then they are reinforcing the perimeter, just making sure that area is now theirs, and sending a message to SAF and FSK. They're about to do the same. Hanma just turns the corner and did not give Batman a single chance, and the rest of Almighty, they are kind of scrambling to get out, but they're only going to be scattering their own ashes as FSK does the deed, taking out Almighty. Now FSK, they're in control of this compound, and they also have FRU in their sights.
Yeah, Hanma with a nice little 2K right there. I mean, Almighty, they were just so low, right? They had the initial fights. They didn't have a full team, so they were definitely going to be a little bit low. But Barba getting some kills on the other end. Hanma's still peeking around. Fast kills moving around. Freedom Rumble, it looks like there's going to be a massive fight right into the middle here as we're going around. Fast kills trying to move around. Freedom Rumble, they're about to engage in the building. How is it going to go?
And also Wheels from behind as well. This might be a 3-way fight, so Freedom Rumble, they gotta pack up as soon as possible as Bloodyhead gets annihilated by PXG Radicals from that high ground. But with Wheels coming in as the third party, Freedom Rumble and FSK, they have a lot on their plate as Wheels, they're tossing in those grenades. Aoki with the grenade launcher is gonna make exit super hard as everyone tries to outrun the blue zone, but it's Wheels always leading the charge, getting ahead of everyone else. The competition feels like it's favoring Wheels. FSK just tries to pick up the scrap. Freedom Rumble completely gets demolished. They still have survivors, but these guys are all tanking that blue zone. Shark gets on his bike and was able to get into the safe zone, but Will, they're already ahead, and Blacklist International on the other end gets destroyed by PXG Radicals. 10 kills under their belt so far, and it's gonna be more because X2R from Oregon MY, he is also gonna go down.
Oh my gosh, they're cleaning up 11 kills. Tanamo and Barbo with both 4 kills apiece, and they're just raining on. This is the high ground. This is the disadvantage that they have. They eliminate Woos. This is a team that is just angry. 12 kills? What are you going to do against PXG Radicals here as they unload on everybody? Do Easy doesn't even want to fight that. It's just too difficult going from the low ground like that. Not going to be possible there. PXG even go even higher. This is a fortuitous circle for them.
Yeah, and probably the best place that they could be right now. You can see that they do easy. They do, sneak a couple of shots in to steal some points away from PXG Radicals. But at this stage of the game, it probably doesn't matter too much. PXG Radicals have the best vantage point in the game. The circle is in their favor. They got the read down to the dot, and now they are in prime position to take probably one of the best best performance per round by the end of round 1.
Yeah, Shark is all by himself. They know he's there, and he's trying to just solo the entire team of Do Easy as he goes for the flank around. But it looks like the circle is going to be a little bit of an issue for them as he's running out of time. Do Easy are just sticking around on this rock, making sure that Shark has got nowhere to go. That blue circle will eventually close on. Sia is all by himself, just kind of sticking around. They're unloading on the building, and this is unfortunate waters for Shark.
And now the circle has completely disappeared, which means that when the Blue Zone pushes in, PSG Radicals will have to be that team that makes the first move. They gotta jump up from that high ground and run straight into Do Easy. So perhaps this might work in Do Easy's favor, because we know that Fastkill MY Shaw is not gonna have much to work with. Sure, there's the time turner, there's the glue wall, but that Blue Zone will eventually take him out. As Do Easy now, they're waiting for PSG Radicals to run straight into their arms, and they're taking on members of PSG Radicals. And indeed, they do. They play the position right. They know that PSG Radicals will have their hands forced, and Do Easy will eventually steal that Booyah away.
What a great play by Do Easy, right? Just making sure that they did not overextend. They didn't get, like crazy out of position or anything like that. But Do Easy with the massive Booyah, that's going to start things off for this team. This is a team that's moved just into 10th position. They had 39 points in the last play day, and this is going to be massive for them as they continue that momentum and they try to go up and climb as high as possible. They were going to people thought that they might be out of the top 12, but hey, Do Easy right now is making their way up.
And they not just got themselves a couple of points, but they're also starting to extend the lead between them and Wheels, right? Wheels didn't have that good of a round. They got taken out within this whole marathon of them, FSK, and Freedom Rumble. So Do Easy starting to really run away with the lead, albeit just one round, but one round means a lot when it comes out to the last week. It also puts them closer to Bloody Hit in terms of standings, but maybe the hosts have some other inputs that we might have missed out. Let's welcome back both Danalee and IC Baby onto the broadcast and see what they have to say about it. Welcome back, guys.
Wow, what a game coming into the first game here to start things off in today's day one number here. Thank you so much, Husky and Holler, for that amazing cast. And Danalee, I must say there's so many things I want to talk about this game, but Danalee, what are your thoughts so far before I get into it?
Wow.
You know me, right? Yeah.
I want to say so many things. Here you go. Anyways.
No. I'll be rambling a lot about all the teams, especially on the bottom side. Like, there are a couple of teams I want to talk about. It's going to be Bloody Hit, Do Easy, Views, as well as Freedom Rumble. But before I get into the bottom side on how their positions, I want to talk about it more during the highlights. But before that, Danalee, I'll let you do your thing first. There's just so many things I want to talk about during the highlights. If we actually get into
the deep end. All right. I do have a lot of things to say, actually. So I think one of the surprising things to start off the round was SAF just getting eliminated right off the bat, right? Because once SAF is off the table, then kills are basically free game because you don't need to contest SAF anymore. So as soon as PXG Radicals saw that, as soon as I saw it and I saw PXG going off, I thought, are they going to be able to catch up to SAF? Right? Because the only team that has the chance to catch up to SAF in that first place right now is PXG Radicals, and they've had an amazing start to the day. Yes, they didn't get the Booyah, but chances are I still think they're going to get the most points this round because they got second place with, was it 12 kills? I'm not sure if anyone managed to see how many kills they got before they got eliminated, but 12 kills, way over what Do Easy had, I feel. So they're sitting on about, would you say 28 points.
Oh, I guess,
For PXG.
I must say, coming to these highlights here, I think the initial scuffle, we did see a little bit of contestation between some of these teams here. But for me, one of the biggest points that I want to talk about is how Bloody Hit actually played that. And based on our current standings thus far, Bloody Hit has one of the least amount of kill points in the top 12. And for them to switch up their playstyles into an aggressive stance coming towards this southeast corner, they were gatekeeping multiple teams such as Fastkill, MY, and every single team kind of dodged their way from southeast corner to actually hit onto this big cluster of a mess down towards the southwest corner, which we just saw a pretty brutal bloodbath for them. So there was an interesting switch coming from Bloody Hits, but you can see that they're trying to take initiative to get some kill points in towards this particular round. But what really caught me by surprise was that despite all the things that is actually happening in the southeast corner, Do Easy was the one to clutch it out, and currently they are in 10th place, and they were in a very difficult spot to actually play. They were literally out in the open. There were just so many crosshairs here, and for them to split their forces in between the cracks of a big team such as PXG Radicals, which was pretty much dominating everyone from the top side, which was insane. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty interesting round for me, especially when you said SAF is being one of the first teams to get taken out, one of the toughest contenders to be playing Free Fire in general, being taken out means, okay, we've got a killer out or loose. It's okay. It's time for us to be the killers, man.
Yeah, and remember, Holler, when we were looking at the final circle, Shark was kind of trapped in that building, right? And it was Sha from Do Easy that was keeping him at bay. But at the same time, by some godly aim, Sha was able to blow Raymel's head into smithereens while Raymel was on that high ground. I think that really stalled PSG Radicals. And of course, there's a circle as well, right? Do Easy, they looked for the center point. They waited for the circle to start closing. PSG Radicals had to jump off the mountain and, of course, straight into the arms of Do Easy, giving Do Easy kind of the steal for the booyah. But I do agree with Daniel. I think PSG Radicals will still take the cake in terms of most points per round.
Actually, speaking of that final circle, Hola, I want to get your input actually. Do you think there could have been any other way PXG could have actually gotten down from that hill without clumping on one side? Because it looked like the fact that they clumped coming down from one side, it was basically the end of the team, right? Because the moment you're grouped up, it's so easy to just shoot you down like ducks.
Yeah. So it was one of those moments where you know that there's 3 teams, right? So that they could be from anywhere. So the thing is that you need to kind of fan out as much as possible. You know, try to get play the angles properly, right? You sometimes, if you stick together, sometimes it's very difficult. I know that one angle everybody's coming from, right? If you kind of have that spread around, people are going to have to look elsewhere, and they can't just focus fire on, literally just zombies streaming in on you, right? So it's one of those moments where you need to ensure that, hey, if you're going to try to make a move, you got to pick your timings, right? And I think they chose a wrong timing because Shark had just been eliminated. And then it's like, Do Easy is like, oh, okay, we'll just know what PXG is. We'll just face that way and we'll just cut them all down.
Does anyone else feel like it was basically the circle that won it for Do Easy? Because it always felt like PXG was praying that the circle would end on the hill.
Yeah, I think a big part of it was definitely the circle, right? Because PSG Radicals were the first team to make contact with that final blue zone, so they had to make a move. And the only way to kind of win that is either you fan out, or when you drop, you have to win that initial fight. But Do Easy were the one who got the snipe first. They shot PSG Radicals out of the air, and at that point, everyone knew that Do Easy is gonna win the round regardless.
No respect. You're saying that it's just a lucky fight by Do Easy? Come on. At the end of the day, they played that one properly.
I'm sorry to say, I gotta disagree, man. I gotta disagree. Like, the way I saw it was a little bit different because, like, Radicals, they had the high ground. They had the biggest advantage was this. But one of the biggest spoilers for them was that they had crosshairs being pointed at them from everyone from the lower ground. And there was this particular team, I think it was Views, who's inside the observatory. And they had, like, 3 angles that they had to mark before they actually conquered the mountain. And they could not afford to commit to a full-fledged fight against Views, which they eventually did. But in the process, they were actually picked off from Do Easy. So I would say Do Easy, they capitalized on a unfortunate situation that Radicals got in, and it was literally skill of them to actually capitalize on the win as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Do Easy, right? I think 2 weeks ago, they were struggling to even get into 12th place. They came really close, and then they bombed out the game after, and everyone was wondering when will Do Easy step up. And the week after that, they got into top 12. I think now they are still ascending in terms of the rankings. I'm not going to be bothered too much where they end up at the end of the league. It makes me happy knowing that Do Easy will have a better chance of qualifying for the grand finals. I think that's one of the first milestones for this team, considering how during season 1 they probably had the most abysmal results in the grand finals, in the group stage, and subsequently the grand finals.
Hola, I want to direct my next question to you because I know you have some of the numbers open in front of you. Looking at some of the numbers that we have built up from today and last week, what teams from the bottom end of the bracket are currently overperforming?
Argon Malaysia. That was a big one. They had the highest points with 55 points in the last play day. So this is a team that, was on the up and up. Do Easy, they only had 39, but they moved up 3 spots. This is a team that's, really looking to just end strong here. They need to make sure that they're in the top 12. They're doing that. And of course, the final one was Tactical Intex. They had the highest, of all of them, and they had 58 points. So Tactical Intex, while they're top 5, not really on the bottom, but you know what I mean? Argon Malaysia and Do Easy are like, never say die. We're going to continue fighting no matter what.
Fair enough. So then, moving on to our next map, folks, we're going to be jumping into Bermuda. We know how this is pretty much just going to be an absolute bloodbath, right? Teams going at each other, going for these kills. What teams are we kind of looking out for on Bermuda that you feel are going to be strongest here?
Mine will always be Argon and Do Easy. I think that you just saw the power of Do Easy there. I think that you're gonna. This is a momentum-based game, right? When you're strong and you're confident, you're making good moves, right? And Do Easy have proven to do that. SAF is on the other side. They've lost a lot of confidence. They're getting eliminated early. They're making a lot of mistakes, right? So there's just two different teams on the wide spectrum that we have here. Everybody else is kind of in the middle right now, but PXG Radicals is really stepped up as well. Blacklist International, not a bad showing for them as well.
Yep, and that as of now, before we get into a bit more of the games here, this is pretty much the standings coming from the first game thus far. And Radicals, like you all said as well, being one of the highest points garnered thus far with 22 points with 13 kills in total. Do Easy going to be taking the booyah, but despite that, they will get themselves 20 points in second place. Fast QMI doing a pretty good one as well. But apparently, doing pretty decently well is going to be both Freedom Rumble as well as Argon MY. They are the teams that are going to be the gatekeepers for the 12th place here. For them themselves to get a little bit points here, it looks good, but it's still going to be a long climb for them, especially if they want to try and solidify their spots in towards a 12th place. But as of yet, Do Easy, they will be the ones to currently lead away from the bottom pack.
There's something oddly satisfying about when you look at SAF getting absolutely no points, especially when you are playing in the league, right? Like, no, I'm not throwing any shade at SAF. This is obviously not a good round for them, but I think when you've been witnessing a team that's basically dominating for the first 10-11 days, suddenly seeing them at the bottom feels a bit refreshing. Now, at least it shows that other teams are really stepping up their games. So SAF, we did not show the overall standing, but what we do know with the numbers that we have is PXG Radicals are getting closer and closer to seeing not just a silhouette of SAF, but also seeing the members of SAF who are currently just slightly in front of them.
Well, now we're going to be jumping into Bermuda, our second map for our first group between A versus B. We're going to throw it over to our casters to take it away as the players jump into the match. Paula and Husky, take it away.
Thank you, Danny and Icy Baby. Let's go into Bermuda now. This is going to be the second one. Obviously, the teams are starting to jump in here. Everybody's kind of going around. But what are your thoughts on this map? Any sort of differences that you would play from Purgatory?
I think when we talk about Bermuda, a lot of people instantly set their eyes on like SAF, PXG, but I want to pay some attention to Fastkill and White. I feel like Fastkill Malaysia so far has been one of the fastest growing team that has shot up from just barely making it to 10th to 11th spot to now top 3. In terms of playing differently, Bermuda is kind of a faster map, I feel like, compared to Purgatory. The map is slightly smaller. You're probably going to run into other teams early on, just like what we're going to see right now. Bloody Hit, again, sharing the same compound as Fast QMY.
Yeah, it's going to start in, but nobody's got any weapons. So it's going to be a little bit of a, an MMA fight more than anything else. I don't think that anything's going to really happen. This place is just so wide open. Like, you could see people that are coming around. I think it's just a matter of just making sure you disperse. Don't really want to pick your fights here because I think you need to run more than anything else.
Yeah, I think for Bloody Head, let's see if they can overcome this. Because if there's one thing about Bloody Head, is that they are not the best fragging team, but somehow when push comes to shove, they win those fights. But Fastkill and NY, they are on a completely different level. They are one of the teams in FFMC who doesn't really care too much who you are. They would just fight you. And they had a monstrous week 4 and 5. So I think Bloody Head not taking the challenge directly is a good move. Mars Electric is where these two teams like to drop, especially Bloody Head. They will not give away a compound once they've claimed it for themselves.
Yeah, and Mark there, did you see that? He was in either the Money Heist costume or the Squid Game costume. I'm not sure which one, but he's in the red, and he's just kind of perching out on the top as a sentry, just like any good guard would. But that said, Argon Malaysia here. This is a team that I had high hopes for. PXG Insanity already looking in a firefight. He's wide out in the open. Insanity just running for his life, and it looks like he's running to his team, trying to get to cover at some point.
And PXG Radicals, they're pretty spread out, I think it's a 2-2 split, because so far it's only Ramiel and Insanity on one side. Both Talamo and Barbar not in sight at all. So Do Easy, they're not going to continue the pursuit. You don't want to run into a trap, just like what Freedom Rumble did in the last game. And without sufficient info, Do Easy, they're perfectly content with just forcing PXG Radicals away from their area. But for PXG themselves, they're not too concerned, right? They have the whole BMAX Sakti strip to them, all to themselves.
So as a if you were in PXG's situation here, are you looking to be aggressive, try to take fights, or are you looking more to just kind of loot as much as possible, wait for the late game, and kind of pick your shots?
I feel like for PXG Radicals, probably they can afford to be a bit aggressive. Especially, I think after round 1, they must be feeling super good about themselves, right? They completely wiped out SAF. They got 13 points at the end of the round. Even though they didn't get the booyah, doesn't matter. They still got the most points, 22 points compared to Do Easy, who only got 20. I think playing aggressively is completely fine. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. Like if you can take out PXG Radicals is a team that plays off of momentum. I think they share a bit of semblance with SAF, where they get kills, they restock, and they continue that freight train. But it only happens if PXG Radicals actually feels like contesting you. If not, they're just gonna chill and wait for the challenge to arise itself.
Okay, well, they're dead center, so it looks like almost any team can kind of approach them. I mean, the circle was like hitting on all of them at this point, so nothing to worry about there. But I mean, if we're looking at Jay-Z, here's continuing to just like load up on as much equipment as possible. Almighty here, just Shira just taking a nice little view, having some tea with his little cat companion there. But Almighty here, this is a team that really needs to kind of get back into the game. They've been a little hit or miss throughout. So I think when we talk about consistency, this is a team that has had some very good games. But the last one just being an average game for them. Almighty, what do you think that they need to do in terms of just changing up their strategy, or what do they need to do better?
I think a lot of weight is on Batman and Jay-Z. I think Jay-Z is the guy that runs in and starts a fight. He's kind of like Day Moon, right? These guys are madmen. They run in with no regards for their life and they just want to fight. But the difference is, I think Batman, he needs to be a bit more proactive and aggressive. But Emilor from Wheels is going to be that aggressive one. And they found SAF. This is the money right there. There is backup from Let's Go. He is super far away. But all those grenades, they have effectively trapped SAF underneath this power line. And they're just going to try and go in for the wipe. Aoki does take down Forbiz. And SAF, could this be a second round where they get knocked out early on? McRory says no, because he just blew out Emilor. The fight is not over yet though, because Wheels, they will continue that aggression as Aoki will get the first finisher. The rest of SAF, they're scrambling to get to safety. Damon is trapped, but he does get a knot on the way out. As Wills, they will also have 2 members on the ground, but Aoki is on the case. He's gonna revive the rest of his team, and SAF, they have no business in this fight anymore.
So what is it about SAF? Do they have targets like drawn on their back or something? Because everybody and their mom right now, again, is going ham on SAF. Eliminated first again by Woos here, but what is going on? Please make some sense of this.
To be honest, Holla, I am also pretty clueless. I have no idea what is happening with SAF, whether it's them not feeling themselves today, or maybe it's just other teams, realizing that, okay, SAF, they used to be this Goliath, but right now we have seen examples of rounds where SAF actually bleeds. So these teams are taking the fight straight to SAF, which I think is the most interesting part. Back then, no one would dare challenge the Supreme Assault Forces, but now everyone is taking a shot. First, it was PXG Radicals in round 1, knocking out SAF, giving them 0 points. And now it's Wheels doing the exact same thing. That's 2 rounds in a row that our pack leader has gotten no point at all.
This is like David versus Goliath, and Goliath is just like this is the most underwhelming fight ever, because Goliath can't even stand up, at the end of the day. He's like too drunk to show up to the fight. I mean, completely wiped out already. SAF, I think they're just kind of maybe looking to just get their, make sure that their attendance is accounted for, but they're really not involved in, what I mean? They're not completely committed to today's play day.
Yeah. I mean, I know we joked a lot about if they skip 1 week, they would still be fine, but you can't really skip the last week, right? Because that's where all the scores are pretty close. Bloody Hit, they're also trying to amp up the aggression against Argon MY, a team that you have been talking a lot about, and for good reasons. Argon MY showing up pretty huge as one of the new kids on the block, but against Bloody Hit, this might prove to be a challenge because all of those grenades and bullets flying through, they're just not giving Argon MY any space to work with. Mark is in the red, but he is still able to top himself up. Cryfu is on the ground as Argon MY, they actually ran past to the high ground to take out the backline, and it seems to be working out because now Bloody Hit, they are in a disadvantaged position. The switcheroo somehow playing out in the favor of Argon MY. Bloody Hit, they're down to just Maul and Cryfu.
Yeah, this is such an awkward fight. This hill is just creating so many issues for both teams here. Argon X2R with a nice knock there, but he does get knocked himself, and Bloody Head gets eliminated. Triple kill by X2R, and it looks like Argon Malaysia. This is the team that I was talking about. This is a team that needs to play big because they're the 12th place team. They need to be careful moving forward and making sure they get as many points as possible. You do not want to mess up these last 2 days. You have no more time. That said, Do Easy, another one. They're playing very cagey. They're making sure that they're getting all their equipment here. They're trying to stay alive, making sure that they do survive for the long run, but they're looking to run away from Almighty here, and it looks like survival is on one of their top priorities as they run away.
Yeah, definitely feels so. They are slightly more comfortable in a nice spot. I think catching up to Forex-Man Expert is going to be a tall task because Forex-Man Expert are quite far away in terms of points. But with that being said, Do Easy, even though they're in a nice spot, one good game from Argon MY and suddenly Do Easy might just drop back down to 12. So these guys are not 100% secure just yet. I don't mind them running away from Almighty. I don't think there's a reason for them to fight Almighty. But there might be some reasons to take on Metrics, a team that is trying their best to get into top 12, but is still, some distance away.
Some distance away, but I think that it's a team that you need to be careful about. But that said, I mean, Do Easy, this is another one. They're just trying to make their way around this circle. There's 9 teams left in this this match so far, and they have managed to not get any sort of skirmish. Do Easy is just kind of staying on the outside, just looking to stay alive, do what they can. MTX, though, while I like the fact that Sparks, they did get the knock in Argon Malaysia, they get eliminated. MTX with some nice shots there by Savik.
Super unlucky for Argon MY. They just wanted to get into the circle and they had to run through that midpoint, that invisible trench, set up by Metrics and Do Easy. And of course, with only 2 members left, there's not really too much of a fighting chance for Argon MY. They did do their job though by taking out Bloody Hit, so at least it kind of thins out the competition for the rest of the round. You can look at the circle. PXG Radical still close to the center point, same as Almighty. Metrics, they're making their way there. Wheels kind of parking themselves near one of the cargo spaceship, I believe. Blacklist International is the interesting one. They are making this very long rotation, I believe, towards the southern side of Katulistawa. Maybe they want to go for that entry from that northwestern side so that they can avoid most of these fights.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you're looking at the teams that were just surviving, or the ones that are left, all of these teams have a chance of making the top 12, right? So this is a pretty big moment because everybody's playing for their pretty much their tournament lives right now. So they need to ensure that they get as many points as possible. Just trying to get as many points, just trying to get into this next circle, which is going to be a pretty big one here, considering all the teams are starting to make their way around. Fast Kill Malaysia here, just skirting the hill a bit, trying to loot what they can, but making sure that they're there. But Fast Kill Malaysia, we haven't seen too much action from this team thus far.
Yeah, even in the previous round, the action that we saw from them was a very messy one. It was them, Wheels, and Freedom Rumble all trying to outrun the blue zone, outrun imminent death. And I believe Fast Kill NY was able to get a couple of kills on the way out, but that's pretty much it. But right now, I think circumstances are definitely slightly different. They are super close to the safe zone, and they are not pressured to make any moves at all. And because there are no teams behind them, so there's no need for them to do any gatekeeping jobs. Their task has been cut down for them for sure. But I wonder if FSK is going to how are they going to take on the challenge ahead of them? It's going to be Do Easy and Almighty at peak.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're playing very patient. Almighty here just getting some shots on Do Easy there. And they might get third party as Fast Kill are making their way into the compound next to them. And it looks like Do Easy kind of out in the open. They do need to be a little bit careful how they approach this on Fast Kill here. And a lot of the teams are starting to kind of meet in the center. The vehicles are just driving around, just creating a lot of noise more than anything else. But Almighty, they're all sticking to that building. Is that a dangerous play? Just kind of holding hands in that that building, or would you like to spread out a little bit more?
I feel like for Almighty it's fine, but it's dangerous for Freedom Rumble because that short trip alerted at least 4 teams of their existence. They did start things off by taking out one of the members from Do Easy, but because of so much noise, Fasco and Y, now they feel compelled to join the action. The unfortunate part is that the blue zone is going to start closing in, so these 3 teams on the outskirts, they have to start moving towards the safe zone, and that whole perimeter is gate kept by Almighty.
Yeah, and Fast Kill and Do Easy so close. Once that circle closes and they have to make a move, they're just going to be looking to skirmish each other on the way in. And it's going to be just survival of the fittest at that point. But Do Easy still sticking around in the building there. And they're just saying, hey, it's your move. You go. I'm going to wait for you. And I'm going to be patient here. But they're both of these teams are going to slowly run out of time as that circle is just starting to cave in here. But Freedom Rumble, just trying to move around, trying to stick around, at least in this area. Again, just fortifying it, and they've got their car parked right outside.
And Yun just met an untimely death. He puts the landmine, he steps on it, he blows his feet up. He blows up his feet, and then Do Easy just throws in a grenade, finishes him off. So Fast Game and Y losing a member to a human error was not what they wanted. But the good news is they somehow were able to sneak through the corners and get into the circle. I think Do Easy is also following them from behind. On the other end of the hemisphere, you have PSG Radicals spotting the vehicle of Matrix. This entire payload will have to slam its brakes as PSG Radicals. They're going to come in for a couple of kills. Raymail already got the first one, and that's point number 1 for the team.
Wow, Raymiel with that nice shot. Like, the car was driving by, he gets 3 shots and he kills him with those 3. I mean, just Raymiel just completely on point with the sniper. Just got to be careful with this guy. I don't know if it's the Panda backpack that he's got, but it's a good luck charm. But nonetheless, he's hitting all of his shots here. Almighty, on the other hand, they're looking to just kind of gatekeep with Do Easy here, just kind of on the outskirts, as that circle is going to be very close. That's going to be the 4th one coming on in. Jay-Z just trying to pick off what he can. That sniper is going to be there. Shira, on the other hand, just kind of covering his ground more, basically.
I'm just hoping that Almighty has someone watching their backs, because that's where Freedom Rumble is. The Freedom Rumble was the team that alerted Almighty of their presence, and Almighty has been paying attention to them for a while, but now it seems like they've been distracted by Do Easy. So Freedom Rumble might take the chance to go for the backstab. We'll see how that pans out. Because what we do know is Matrix, they are under heavy fire as PSG Radicals. They're not content with just taking out one member of the team. They want to go for the full wipe and to complete, that elimination. And Matrix, they're getting pushed and cornered in their house. PSG Radicals, they're not even giving them any space to work with, as Ray Meow just solo carries this entire team, runs in with the gun, and effectively Ray Meow got a quad kill by wiping out Matrix all by himself.
Do you need teammates when you could just do everything by yourself? Raymiel just takes everything and just goes John Wick on all 4 of them in the tiniest of buildings there, and they just completely control that one. PXG Radicals, again, proving to be why this team is one of the strongest one, and it looks like they're going to continue to fight as they go into Freedom Rumble. Almighty, they're just getting some pickoffs, and it looks like they're going to be third-partied here. PXG still on the outskirts here. They do need to be careful. That truck providing a little bit of cover. Sab with a nice shot on Hanma so far, and a nice grenade there. Barba making sure Vegeta gets paid.
And everyone from PSG Radicals, they're barely holding on to the edge of the circle, but that would just be enough, as Fast Q and Y on the other side will eliminate Do Easy, but Ali is the only one left alive, and he wants to go for a shot, but Our Forte will deny that. Good swing for Ali though. That quick scope does take out that one member of Wheels, but Limit is going to be the one that gets the exchange in. Wheels will survive with all 4 members, as Cobra gets a double nade across the screen onto PSG Radicals. Blacklist International, they're going to be the next challengers to try and take out this team.
Yeah, it's going to be tough here. There's so many glue walls. It's very difficult. Black with some nice ones. Clanks and Manflex. There's going to be a couple knocks here. He just goes right on in. PXG just going ham right there. Insanity runs in and out. No punishment there. Freedom Rumble gets eliminated 5th. And it looks like Phoenix is just looking to just stick on the outside, trying to get some shots on. And Raymiel with a killing spree. This guy is turning it up. Black International just trying to stay alive with a grenade with a 3K there, making sure that Phoenix gets that, gets on the kill board there. But a killing spree by Raymiel as well. And how are they going to close this one out?
And PSG Radicals Barbar is going to drive the heck out of there. It has no business in that fight anymore. And PSG Radicals, because of Phoenix grenade launcher, they are now out in 4th place. Blacklist they did not want to go out without a fight, and they certainly dealt heavy damage to Pressure Radicals. They deny them of a possible booyah on round 2, but nonetheless, this is Will's time to shine. As Aoki does get his first grenade launcher shot onto Ren. Almighty kind of just holding hands and sticking together, wanting to brave the storm, but the storm on wheels might be a bit too overwhelming. Limit is on his knees, but it's instantly brought back up. Those grenades are just flying in from afar. Look at the flashbang as Jay-Z forgot his sunglasses and he'll be blinded for an extended period of time. Will's getting so much control over this perimeter. They're gonna start to overwhelm Almighty first. Jay-Z playing behind the glue wall, but it means his back is kind of exposed to the last member of Black's International, and it's only a matter of time before Wills closes this out. Phoenix is now spotted. Ember Lord was just trying to go in for the kill alongside his teammate. Blacklist Phoenix dies to the blue zone, and Almighty is gonna follow suit. Jay-Z, he will do this Hail Mary attempt, but it will be all for naught. Wills will get this booyah for themselves and secure a very solid round.
Aoki with a nice 5k there. I think they had close to 12 or so kills. I actually lost track. Woo's just completely turning it up. This is a must win for them. A must day for them in the sense of just having a good day. They scored 22 points in the last play day, 12 before that, and 14. This is a team that was struggling. They were really struggling to even get in. And the fact that they were 11th place, they were on the decline, so to speak. This is a team that really need to make sure that they get their points as they get the booyah on this game.
And with that, I think Wills is now on a good track, right? I think they're on the right track to just completely widen the lead and make sure that at least by the end of today, they're not gonna drop out of top 12. But a great performance from Blacklist International, I would say, despite them not really getting too much kills. The fact that they took out PSG Radicals even from the grave was a great statement. You know, Blacklist, we counted it out a lot of times, but they are here to say that they are not, you know, they still need to be included in the conversation. And I think it's also time for us to bring back both our hosts into this conversation. Let's get Danielle and Icy Baby back on the camera. Hello, guys.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be back.
I know there was a pretty interesting round. You know, I'm not gonna lie. PXG Radicals tried to flex it a little bit by getting a little bit too kill hungry. I'm not gonna lie. Like, why would they push so many teams in the bottom right, considering that there was like at least a good amount, like 4 to 5 teams on the bottom right side of the map. So there was a pretty interesting round, but somehow they managed to hold on by just taking waves after waves after waves of team, which is kind of insane from PXG, not gonna lie.
Well, I think it's a testament to PXG growing with the league, right? Because we noticed during the last round, they kind of did the same thing. Like, they pressed the issue during the late game because they know how important it is to go for those kills. So probably with that confidence from that first game, they're thinking, we can take it. But they're not realizing that they took, maybe the bite was a little bit, you know, they couldn't fit everything into their mouth. So they got punished for it, unfortunately. So, I mean, it's a shame. If they manage to get a really good round again, I think PXG would be in a prime position to possibly take that first place away from SAF. Again, I'm still riding that train. I think PXG, they still can do this. It's just gonna have to reel things in a little bit, you know?
This is just kind of crazy, right? Like, especially in the bottom right side as well, where you can see like all the teams gonna kind of messed up in that fight. And what I was really enjoying the most was that PSG, they understood that they were very greedy and they took a very strategic spot by just taking out metrics while they were holding the compound in this particular fight. And this is why I'm talking about the hordes of teams just constantly just clumping their way through, fighting them off. And I was really surprised at Views, they were able to hold on to us against 5 assaults coming in and still came up on top, which is kind of sick to watch here. But nevertheless here, let's talk a little bit more about the positionings of the 4 teams here. Blacklist, Views, as well as Almighty. Almighty being one of the first teams that gatekeep 3 teams on the bottom right side. Views was taking in the top right side of the map, which is kind of uncontested. Blacklist on the top left. And I feel like PXG Radicals, they were one of the a solid positioning on the bottom left side of the map. And instead of, you know, holding down the fort, they just took this very unnecessary risk to go for kills on the bottom right side, which allowed opportunity for both Blacklist as well as Views to just capitalize on all the huge chaotic mess that's happening on the bottom right.
I feel like PSG Radicals just saw their shot and took it, right? They saw metrics and they're like, yeah, these guys are metrics, let's just go wipe them out. And then after they conquer metrics, it turned into kind of a World War Z situation where these zombie hordes of teams are pouring in. They can bite the bullet, but they definitely were not able to bite that grenade launcher from Phoenix. So that was, I think, the unfortunate part. But I feel like if you are PSG Radicals, you probably don't mind too much because 2 rounds in a row, SAF did not get a single point. So this is more about you bagging as much as you can and not really worry about other teams because they're just so far ahead. In fact, I think they're almost 90 points ahead of Fastkill and Y. So why bother, right?
And I think also something to mention is that we're starting to see this very distinct play styles coming out from the 2 different regions because we're seeing the Filipinos being hyper aggressive in their play styles, whereas you take a look at the Malaysian teams, they're a little more passive but more opportunistic, where they rather go for those easy kills, ones where they don't need to put themselves at risk. Is it these distinct play styles? Do you feel it's the reason why we're seeing so many of the Filipino teams really succeeding in these final 2 weeks?
I think so.
Definitely,
I guess.
I want to rebut it. I definitely agree with what you say. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Views as well is one of the teams that they like to start fights and they don't end the fights. They just, bring in more people to the fight and then they try to get opportunity out of it. Whereas Malaysian teams, they are kind of tactical in a way where they play it safe and then just, hopefully pray that the circle is in their favor and go for this kind of attempts. And I think there was this instances where Views, they started a fight that they could not finish in the bottom right, and they immediately just backed off and watched everyone have a jab on a zombie horde down bottom right, which was very interesting to watch. So I would say a difference in terms of approach when they came to this game, and I definitely can see where you're coming from here, Danny.
Husky, you
trust a
wanted
little
to
bit
chime
more
in?
on their mechanics more than anything else. When you say PXG went in ham and he was trying to do it, it was one of those things where I know I'm mechanically skilled, so I can take on that team of 4 by myself. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's overconfidence or stupidity at this point. In that case, it was kind of stupid. But at the end of the day, that's the thing, is that you're going to rely on your own player skill, right? And so I think that you're going to see that aggressiveness, and I like that. For me, I'm very passive, and I pick my fights because I know mechanically I'm not good at this game, right? So it's one of those things where you just need to understand who you are as a person.
I mean, shout out to Jay-Z who ate 4 flashbangs in a row in the final circle. I think he was blinded. I think probably at one point he looked away from the screen, but yeah, just had to point that out. Poor guy.
He probably needs sunglasses while playing through this game really, really soon. But as of yet here, we are going to be having the code giveaway as of now. Redeem it before it's gone. Redeem it right now because this validity of the code is going to be until the end of the stream. So the moment the stream cuts off, this code is not going to be valid anymore. So redeem it right now.
Make sure you share it as well. This is not just for yourself, okay? This is a code that everyone can claim, so make sure to share it with your friends who might not be able to tune into the stream. Just share it to everybody. It's free stuff. All good. Make sure you claim it before 4 o'clock today, our local time, or if you're watching from a different region, you've got 2 hours to claim the code. So make sure you watch it and claim that code. But speaking of watching, let's take a look and see the round standings for our second game of the day for Groups A versus B. And well, I mean, if you're a Wheels fan, you're going to be sitting in your chair thinking, well, that was a good round.
Yeah, that is definitely a good round for Wheels. They needed to lead ahead of the pack against Argon MY as well as Freedom Rumble, especially when both of the teams are going neck and neck at each other in terms of points. Look at this. Even until now, we can see Argon MY is been slowly getting some sort of points. But I'm not going to lie, anything can change. One good game coming in from Freedom Rumble, one good game coming from Argon NY could easily turn the tide. So I can see that Argon NY, they want to pull ahead. Views as well, their points is 7 points apart, and with this lead here, they are going to try and lead away from both Argon NY as well, Freedom Rumble. So I like the ideas that are coming from the bottom side of the pack, but PXG Radicals, it seems like they really want to try and go for the chase here against SAF.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's happening so far. But do we need to discuss what's kind of happening here with SAF? Because we've just seen 2 rounds where this team has literally bombed out with zeros. 2 big fat zeros, which is very uncharacteristic for a team like this.
I'm going to speculate a little bit more. I heard the conversation between both Husky as well as Holler here. They did mention that, hey, technically they don't even need to play the game and they're still going to make it into the playoffs. So it makes a lot of sense. But, I'm going to, speculate a little bit more here, which is going to be that, maybe they're just saving up strategies. Maybe they don't want to show their cards a little bit too much where they've got eyes on them for the past few weeks. I don't know, maybe. It's just me.
It's hard being in the limelight for 6 weeks straight. You know, like I totally understand that. But I
They
think for
gotta
SAF,
humble down a little bit, right?
So,
you still need
I
to
don't know
win
if
though.
that's
You need the
humbling.
first place cash prize. I think that's the main point for SAF right now. No, there's still 2 more rounds. Maybe they can show us something else.
Any final words, Paula, before we quickly jump on out to a quick break?
No, I think we're going to see SAF step up. There's no way they have a donut through the entire day. I think that's impossible from this team.
Well, we'll find out in just a moment whether we're going to have a box of donuts from SAF or not. But for now, we're going to go for a quick break. And once we return, we'll jump right into our next groupings, which is going to be Group B versus C.
Hey yo, Moco,
What up, hero?
it's about that time.
Let's get 'em. Max out. I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this hair, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter. They old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level. Ride like a bike pedal, hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game, and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show. Ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out, and I'm a moving. Who want it? You want it? Let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the MCP Majors Season 2. We have just finished up our first groupings of today, which is A versus B, and now we're going to have Group A sitting on the sidelines. They can grab a snack, drinks, because they're about to watch a very spicy series between B versus C. Now, Icy Baby, we've already seen SAF, which all eyes so far are on this team. They're currently sitting on top of their teams in first place, but they ended those last 2 rounds with 2 zeros. Absolutely no points from those 2 games. And now going into Group C, could we see this continue on?
I don't know. Maybe, you know, sometimes 2 is just not enough. You want to make it into 4 and you get a full package, man. Like you literally have a full packaged meal ready to go for donuts all the way through. And in this case, you can share it with 4 of us. You know, we've got 4 casters. We've got 2 donuts left far. But memes aside, I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the groups are going to take this cake, because we do see a little bit shifts here, especially the bottom side, trying to pull away from the pack. I think Do Easy as well as Views are going to be the ones that try to lead away. And currently, this is going to be the overall standings. And
Oh
seems
my
like...
god.
Wow.
I am very shocked to see that PXG Radicals are literally on SAF's tails. Now, I know that we're not going to see PXG for this round because they're in Group A. We'll see them a little bit later on, but SAF, they've got to kick it up into gear if they want to get that first place. Like, if they want to keep it, they got to grab some points somewhere.
Well, I definitely agree. 30 points is still pretty close.
Well, that's
too close to
21.
be
21
yeah,
points.
Oh, sorry.
That's
yeah,
one
math fail.
round.
21 points. That's still too close to be called comfort. But then nevertheless, I definitely agree. SAF, they've got to step it up if they want to maintain the top #1 spot. 2 games in a row. We did have a little bit conversation as well. Husky did say they do tend to start off slow in the first 2 games. Probably they're experimenting here a bit. We can't exactly tell too much unless we get a little bit inputs from the players. So now let's talk on the bottom side a little bit more. Views finally leading the pack, straying away from 10th place, kicking Do Easy down, leading by 337 points. That's a good enough lead, but I feel like Views, they definitely want to maintain this consistency to deny both Bloody Head, Argon, MY, or maybe even Freedom Rumble from taking potentially their spot. So this is pretty understandable considering that this is the last week here in MCP Majors.
Yeah, I have to agree. But if anything, I'm going to have to keep my eye on that 12th and 13th place. Argon, MY, as well as Freedom Rumble, like these guys are going head-to-head for that final spot. I think, realistically speaking, for today, we're going to be seeing a potential change there, assuming Freedom Rumble can get more points than Argon MY, which for today, those 2 teams haven't really done too well. So they haven't had that many points be split between the 2 of them.
I'm not gonna lie, like Freedom Rumble and Argo MY, they have been like going neck and neck in terms of points for 2 games in a row, and they haven't exactly shown too much. But one I'm a little bit more concerned here is gonna be Bloody Hate, because we did see a little bit change in terms of play style. They get a little bit aggressive, they want to get a little bit more kills, but they haven't been able to achieve those kind of points. So it's if this keeps up, they might actually be knocked down. So hopefully things will be a little bit different later on. But as of yet, seems like the games are pretty much on its way here. We are gonna be heading off very, very soon, Danny.
Oh, we are actually. We're going to be jumping into Purgatory for our first map for our second groups for today. It's B versus C. Let's hear what the casters have to say. Paula and Husky, take it away.
Thank you, Danalee and IC Baby 1-2. Yes, Supreme Assault Forces, they might be really good sprinters like Usain Bolt, but PXG Radicals are better in long marathons because right now they are not, I would say within touching distance, it's kind of an understatement. They are 1 game away from potentially overtaking SAF. But PXG Radicals, they're going to take a break right now. SAF have 2 more rounds to try to widen the lead. But now host pointed out a really good point. At the bottom, the bottom half, Bloody Hate, Argon MY, and Freedom Rumble, especially 11 to 13, these guys are really close beside each other.
Yeah, it's actually too close to call at this point. I think, we're going to look at these individually, right? You're going to have the Woos, Do Easy, Bloody Head. Those guys are like within, 5 or so points away. I think Argon, Malaysia, Freedom Rumble, that's another close one. 8-point difference there. Metrics, again, very difficult. I think that they might have been eliminated unless they go very strong just moving forward. They really do not have any time. Metrics need to really turn it up. But we're going to go into Purgatory here. This is going to be the first match between B versus C. And welcome aboard all of the Group C teams here. We're going to see AKO Legend, top 5 team, the 4th place, Tactical Intex, 5th place as well. So those are all there. But then you have some of the, I would say, the mathematically eliminated teams. I'm putting those in quotations, which no one can see me right now. But those teams are going to have a hard time actually trying to do anything. Maybe they're going to play a little bit of spoiler going into this one. But this is going to be match 3 as the teams are starting to drop in now.
Yeah, and Group C is that team which you have, out of the 6 teams in that group, 3 of them are in the running, and 3 of them are, like you mentioned early on, mathematically eliminated, But AKO Legend, Tactical Intex, and Forex-Man Expert, these guys are in the top 8, 5th, 6th, and 8th respectively. And for teams in Group B at least, they have 6 more rounds to go. And by the end of the day, they will only have 4 more rounds. So if you are SAF, you want to keep that first place, this is no more room for mistakes. But for everyone else, it's all about getting, better placements by the end of the day. And I think the other 3 teams from Group C, Zep Squad, Umbrella Reborn, and Cannot Brain, their job is not done yet. Even though they might not qualify for the grand finals, but they can still be that hindrance to other teams.
So if you're SAF and you're in this one and you know that there are teams that are eliminated that are looking to just kind of make a name for themselves more than anything else, and you get some of those easy or free points, so to speak, quote unquote, would that put you in a confident state, or is it more of like, you know what I mean? Does this really mean anything at the end of the day for SAF?
I think for SAF, if they want to keep that first place glory and also the prize pool, then yes, every single point is going to be matter. And then 2 weeks ago, we joked about SAF. They could take a 1 week break and it would not matter because they have like a 100-point lead. But now it has shrunk to just a 21-point advantage. So one good round from PhD Radicals and SAF might just get overtaken. So any point that they can get right now, they can muster up for themselves. It's going to mean something.
I think it's a little just overconfidence, right, by SAF. I mean, it looks like there's going to be a little action here with Zeth and Umbrella Reborn just going at it, and they're going ham right at the moment. But Zeth so far with the 1 kill there, and Umbrella Reborn has now been eliminated. Well played by Zeth.
And Zeth, they don't have much time to recuperate because Tactical Intax, they heard the call and they are going to come in uninvited on the pickup truck. And they're also here to pick up some kills. I mean, Zimnu is going to get shot from outside of the factory, but Trix just already started off on the good note. Mornang is down and they're just going to start overwhelming the rest of Zeth. Zeth and Umbrella Reborn, these two teams kind of have a internal rivalry because it feels like these guys always hard drop into each other's zone and they will start fighting each other. So even if you're SAF and you want some free points, you're not going to get 8 of them. These two teams, they're just going to wipe each other out one way or the other. But Tactical Intax, at least, they will be able to pick up some scraps off of that commotion. And so far, it is 2 points. But for Lavis, I don't think he can run any further. So his time is also limited.
All right, you're calling them scraps, but I'm calling them Zeth Squad at the end of the day. And it looks like Tactical Intax, they came in there like Kool-Aid. They looking to just continue on with their momentum from their play day 10 yesterday, or last week, excuse me, with 58 points. They get the elimination here. Trixis is turning it up with a quad kill, and ITX is just continuing that momentum from the last week. And they're just continuing to just rise up in the ranks here.
Oh, I think they stole 1 kill from Umbrella Reborn. I feel like that's it because they have 5 points. So that's a bonus, right? You wipe out a whole team and you get 1 extra on the side. Kind of a promotion for ITX. And as they destroy Zeth Squad, well, Cannot Brain, they are here. The 3 teams that we have just grouped together all show up in the same spot. It feels like there's a radar calling for these guys to group up. And ITX, they have another challenge on their hands.
I mean, I'm sure they heard the sound more than anything else, but I feel like they're a little late to the party, This is where they've already eliminated the other teams. I don't know if Cannot Brain if this is a fight you want to be taking 4-on-4. I mean, you might think that they're a little weak, and then that's kind of why you're picking this moment, but I don't know if this is where you want to be. I think as XBR, you want to stay safe and kind of look to third party at a later time and just try to go for those survival placement points to start the game.
I definitely agree. I don't think Cannot Brain needs to force any issue. I mean, you can see Bloody they are literally hugging the edge of the map. But they are also pretty close to this area. They're technically behind Tactical Intax, but it seems like Cannot Brain, they really want to go for the commit. They are circling around the area, spreading their forces thin, but also getting a bit more of a control. But the question is, can Cannot Brain take out Tactical Intax? The shots have been fired. That will also alert Bloody Head. This is an inevitable fight.
It looks like everybody just wants to play it forward right here because it's this giant party. All the teams are kind of converging on that far end. Oh, nice little time turner there. Keeping him alive, but he's going to try to rush in. Tactical Intax goes in, and are they able to knock him? They do. So they're looking to clean up here. All the teams are starting to go. Mark is starting to turn it up with a couple of good shots from them. But Juan gets knocked here, and he does get the elimination. Trix is turning it up again. This guy, Tactical Intax, though, they've been eliminated at 10th.
And Cannot Brain, they start the fight and Bloody Head joined in as an uninvited guest. But at the end of the day, Tactical Intax had a good start, but they were just not able to close it out. So I guess for Cannot Brain, things somehow worked out for a while because Bloody Head, they are now here to be the fourth party to this whole skirmish, and Cannot Brain, they are completely trapped.
Yeah, and Guns is gonna Mark gets the kill on him. It was maybe a mercy execution at that point, but it looks like they're just trying to clean up here. Bloody Head are now in position. They find the rest of them. They're like, okay, I'll take that free kill. Thank you very much. Morgana's looking for the next one. Areens is all by himself, though. He's just sticking around, and he's got that glue wall keeping him alive, and they actually don't see him. The glue wall is going to get killed at some point. Arenz is just praying. He's just like, guys, just, I'm not here. Don't move. Don't move. And Cannot Brain gets killed.
And they're tossing nades over the glue wall. Instead of just destroying that glue wall, they're lobbing nades, you know, as if they're shooting 3-pointers. That feels more like a 1-pointer, but you know, Bloody Hit getting themselves 4 points. Kind of a bloodbath at Forge from the get-go. We've already lost 4 teams. Umbrella Reborn cannot brain Zeph Squad. We've already lost like 4 teams. So good for Bloody Hit, I guess. They are the eventual winner of that death match.
Yeah, and they chose their timing. They knew that there was a lot of action going on there. But Argon Malaysia on the other hand, SAF on the high ground. Nice little shots here onto AKO, throwing out a grenade. The glue walls are going to be used. The grenades, and he does get the nice knock. McCrory with a nice grenade there. He's going to look to just clean him up with the second grenade. He does clean him up there. McCrory staying on the high ground, takes out his frying pan, because that's what you do when you get that kill.
Yeah, and Frying Pan in Battle Royale have incredible physics. They deflect bullets, they prevent the impenetrable piece of kitchen equipment. But that nade just flying right past McRory's shoulder. And SAF finally getting the first point of today, and Taken, he is split from his team. And with that, I think SAF, they're going to start flushing him out. Taken, though, is not going to go down without a fight because Daemoon gets a bullet in himself. As Taken tries to run away, I think McRory will try to at least pressure this member of AKO Legend.
Yeah, it's not a good shot. I mean, there's just so much foliage. You can't really find where Taken is right now. And Taken is just like, okay, look at this guy just shooting all over the place, not able to hit anything. But McCrory's not going to leave his perch of an area. This high ground has been very fruitful for them in the sense of just keeping them alive. Les goes on the other end. Daemoon is just going to be around. And it looks like they're just going to stick around. And they find the rest of AKO. And Decos is kind of going to hide behind that tree, try to do what he can.
And Bloody Hit, they are on the horizon. So if you are SAF, you better clean up this whole fight as soon as possible. They do down Decos, and because AKO are so far apart, they're not going to be able to revive their teammates once they go down. Rosso is hiding in that corner, and SAF, they spotted him. So Rosso, he is also going to be taken out. SAF should be able to at least wipe out 3 members of AKO, just severely crippling them. But the last member of AKO, he is out.
Yeah, and we talked about in the first match of PXG Radicals, they were like clumped together, right? In this one, if we're looking at AKO, they were fanned out all over the place. They were like not able to even support each other. That seemed like really poor positioning by AKO.
But now Bloody Hit, they are gonna join the party just in time. But this is not the time to fight though. Everyone is standing in that danger zone. Well, at least for Bloody Hit, as SAF keeping them at bay, making sure that they are at risk of getting bombed by an airstrike. Bloody Hit, they were able to pass through that area and now taking the fight straight to SAF. SAF, they're actually trying to run, but I don't think they can make it in time. Everyone else from SAF, they're scrambling to get to safety, and it's gonna be McRory, gaining some distance with that vehicle. Let's Go, not so lucky though. He's gonna be trapped. So this is going to be a kind of a final stand between Let's Go and Daemoon against the rest of Bloody Hit. SAF, they're not even going to turn back and help the teammates. Whoever was able to get out will have to play the survival game.
McCrory there was in the car. He drove off, did not let Daemoon get into the car, and drove off without him. I don't know if that's a friend or a frenemy at this point, because he just left him hanging, and now it looks like he's going to be all by himself. Let's Go just sticking around, just trying to stay alive, hiding behind this tree. But man, when you have teammates like that willing to just, leave you to die, so to speak, because Daemoon's got no chance at this point. I mean, I don't know what to think at this point.
It seems like, SAF, they still park themselves nearby. They got a compound to work with on the southern side. I'm not sure if they can get a clear view of what is happening. Daemoon, he is hanging on for dear life underneath those group of rocks. As Bloody Hit will start to spread out their forces to try and look for those isolated members of SAF. They saw Daemoon, so this should be the first sign of pickoff for Bloody Hit. Let's Go. I don't think there's much he can do about it. Daemoon, he has to at least try and fight before he goes down, but that's not possible.
Yeah, no chance there. And I feel like Bloody Head have been like, they're like the zombies in all of the zombie movies that you see. They hear something and they just come storming in for it. They look to just clean up whatever they can. But they're 4 strong now. They've got 5 kills. Bloody Head, this strategy is paying off for them as they're looking to be the cleanup crew here. But Cryfu's in a bad spot. Mark looking to just cover. But McCrory with a nice shot. I guess he came back in the end to save his teammate, but his, Daemoon is already dead.
Yeah, it took them some time to relocate and reposition, but at least they didn't walk out of that with absolutely nothing. For Bloody Head, they no longer have the full squad. Cryfu, unfortunately, will be the first casualty of the team, and that also allows SAF to potentially regroup. At least for Let's Go, he will get to gain some distance for himself. He's still getting shot though, and he's gonna bob and weave, but you cannot outrun bullets, and Multi is gonna make sure that he goes down. That means that the rest of SAF, they're actually trying to come in and provide backup, and indeed they do. McCrory gets a long-range shot with a rifle to down Mark. That's gonna buy some time for Let's Go, and SAF, they are finally in the clear.
You know, that whole sequence of events just reminded me of the Matrix. Matrix 1, that is, in the sense that, like, they let Morpheus get caught. In this case, it's Daemoon. And then McCrory's like, oh, we're going to go back to save him. And it's like, oh, why is that going to work? Because it's never been done before. But the thing is that when they're trying to go back, you know, Daemoon was already killed. So they already killed Morpheus. In this case, it was just like, spoiler alert for people that haven't seen Matrix 1. In this case, it was a disaster right there. But McCrory's just trying to do what he can in terms of just, trying to keep bloody heads, at bay. Not the easiest of things to do, especially when you're outnumbered.
Yeah, and in these kind of situations, sometimes, someone has to get shot for the greater good, right? I think for SAF, that's kind of the philosophy that they're running with. Well, just based on what we saw. But the good news is SAF, they still have 3 guys left, and they are bolting for the edge of the blue zone. So for once, we're seeing SAF not taking that aggressive approach. In fact, they're just gonna play for their late game, and I think they realize if they keep ramming their head, they keep trying to take these fights, they are not the apex predator anymore. These other teams are stepping up, they're rebelling. So SAF, they need to change things up.
But, okay, so I know I'm supposed to be neutral here, but every time someone of SAF dies, I get a little giddy inside of me. I don't know if it's for the other teams or whatever, but I feel a little like, oh, the other teams have a better chance. They can get more kills now. I mean, I don't know about you. What are your thoughts on that?
That's exactly my sentiment, right? There's a weird sense of joy when you see them getting that 0 point. I mean, to be fair, if they've been absorbing all the compliments for like 10 days in a row, they can take some heat. I'm pretty sure. Yes. It'll only make them stronger at the end of the day. But MTX here, they need to be a little bit careful. He's just stuck between these glue walls, trying to go for the pickup, but Safik getting a little dangerous there. Spade with a nice grenade, and 4X Men Expert are on the prowl right here. They're looking to clean things up. Doom Easy is looking to just find Mark, but bloody heads in every single one of those buildings. I've kind of got that place locked down. And on the other side, you have Freedom Rumble, Matrix getting wiped out by Forest Man Expert. There's nothing much that they can do when you're caught out in that kind of a vulnerable position. I think Forest Man Expert just pounced for the wipeout, and they did. 4 points for them. Matrix, their days are getting more and more numbered. After this, they have only 5 rounds left, and still they haven't gotten that godly game that they desperately need to get into top 12. And currently they're placed in 14, so there's some distance for them to catch up, and this round is just not it.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to happen in this one. I mean, they needed the points. They have one more game, at least for today, and then tomorrow as well for another 4, but they're really running out of time. I don't know if Metrics can make this comeback and to get into it. I think it's going to be more of Argon Malaysia, Freedom Rumble. That's going to be the tighter matchup to look out for. Argon Malaysia, speaking of which, they're on the high ground here, and they've got a great position as they make their way into the outer end of this northwest circle.
Yeah, both Argon, MY, and Freedom Rumble are still in the game. So whoever gets knocked out first is going to feel a bit more heat by the end of the round in terms of standings. I mean, Argon and MY obviously they are ahead, but they're only ahead by I believe 8 points. So that's not a lot if you think about it. But SAF, they are on the low ground, and I think Argon and MY saw them.
But Ipan with a nice snipe shot onto Freedom Rumble there. I didn't catch who that was, but Taken looking to just kind of go through, and this high ground is becoming an issue. Some grenades here. Jembol, it looks like he's going to be ambushed and got to look to win the firefight. He loses. Apam actually takes that one out. Do Easy's on the other end. He's looking to get some shots. Does get the kill there. So Ipan just trying to support as much as possible, using the boxes for cover, trying to keep himself alive. Sia is just knocked down. Does need to be a little bit careful, especially since Ipan is on the prowl. But the grenade is a little off the mark. He's got a glue wall just to keep himself alive. The other grenade bounces right past him. He does somehow survive. Ipan with a triple kill.
But they are still gonna rush him though. He's regenerating with the med kit. AKO Legends gonna be knocked out off screen as Ipan now tanking the blue zone. He plays Ring Around the Rosie, but he puts himself in a bad spot, and he's gonna be knocked out. So that's the end of Do Easy for this round. Bloodyhead so far still holding strong. They have 4 X-Men Expert on the horizon. The difference being for X-Men Expert, at least they have more ground to work with to rotate into that circle. But they're being gate-capped by Pedro from Argon MY.
And I think, I mean, to Ipan's credit, I don't know if he, obviously he probably should have jumped into the circle, but considering he didn't, he stayed outside so that, yeah, if you're going to look to loot his body, he's going to be outside in the blue. So maybe he's looking to just prevent at least a little bit of the recovery off of his own body, that is. So maybe you're trying to 200 IQ it. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, he does go down here. Goku with a nice snipe onto Morgana. Bloodyhead does need to be a little bit careful with how they approach this next circle.
SAF creeping up the hill, and they really want to sneak into the circle in a safe manner, but Argon MY is not going to make it easy though. Let's Go has been spotted out, and McRory, he's trying his utter best to at least buy some space for the team, but because they're on the low ground, things are just so hard. They do get some shots on the Pedro, but it's not enough. Let's Go is already down. Good nade from Pedro. Argon MY being the that fortified barrier between SAF and the safe zone, and it seems like SAF will not be able to make it in. They are going to be knocked out in 4th place. Argon MY, 4 X-Men Expert, and Bloodyhead will be the last 3 survivors in this final gauntlet.
Look at this positioning by Argon Malaysia. 4 X-Men Expert right next to them, using the glue wall in the circle, just being like, hey, if we don't move, they can't see us. Oh, it looks like they're going to go for the ambush. They try to go around the corner, and it looks like they're going to try to go on, but Argon Malaysia is just too strong. They eliminate 4 X-Men Expert. Bloodyhead gets eliminated, and congratulations, Argon Malaysia will pull out the victory here with 3 kills, the MVP from MIYY.
And you want them to have a great game, and indeed they pull out a great game. They're in that 12th spot, but this booyah means the world to Argon Malaysia. Gives them another extra lifeline in the group stage, and most importantly also pulling them ahead, farther ahead from Freedom Rumble, who is pretty close to qualifying. But right now things are getting tougher and tougher, as you credit that to mechanics, credit to their girlfriends, to the families. But whatever power that they got to channel in that round, it certainly worked out for Argon MY. And let's bring back our hosts, both Danali and IC Baby 1-2, and see what they have to say about that round.
I have to say, Argon MY, I think they're positioning themselves really, really well, to the point where I don't know if Freedom Rumble can catch up now, because you get a booyah, they have a fantastic round, and we also have to take into consideration, right? The teams that end up towards the bottom end of the bracket, they struggle to get 20 points in 4 games. So for them to be able to grab that many points in one round, this is just going to make it, I think, an almost impossible task of Freedom Rumble now.
Yeah, it seems like everyone on the bottom side is literally giving their all in this first day, in this final week. And it's kind of insane to watch. Like, there are so many things to talk about when it comes to their decision making. Bloodyheads being as aggressive as they are ever, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually liking Bloodyheads playstyle a little bit more based on how their objectives over the weeks, right? They kind of low key over the weeks as well. They don't want to get a little bit aggressive. They play for placements all the way through, but they have this mind game where, hey guys, it's the final week of the week. Every single team is gonna be playing as extremely passive, and they capitalize on so many of these aggressive plays. And one of these aggressive plays was that initial fight between both Bloodyheads as well as I think it was SAF, which if that was any other team but SAF, Bloodyheads would have gotten more than just 1 kill out of that fight.
Yeah, I think Bloodyhead, they started this round on a... It's a very weird opening, right? You have 4 teams fighting at Forge, and it's not like a 4-way fight. Everyone is just pouring in, whoever comes later. It's like going to a buffet, right? The meal has started, and if you come in late, you're gonna pick up the scraps. Bloodyhead obviously started the round with 4 points, but the fact that they somehow survived to the last circle with like 3 guys and got 2nd place, I think that was pretty darn good. Considering that Bloodyhead, the best result they've ever gotten was always 2nd place. They have not gotten a single booyah yet.
Hey, if they make it through without a booyah, I think that's a statement, right? Imagine this team getting a booyah, how much higher they would be able to make it. I think it's something that we're going to have to look at when it comes to the final stage. Can Bloodyhead fix the fact that they don't get booyahs? If they can fix their placement issue, I feel like this is a team that we really need to look out for.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And on top of it all, we did see a couple of interesting switches in terms of playstyles as well, especially from Argon, Do Easy, and FRU. Do Easy, they tried to do something that what PXG kind of did in game number 1, but the only difference between both them and PXG is that PXG, they cleared out all the other mountain terrains where they didn't get shot from every single angle, whereas Do Easy, they were in the middle of everybody's crosshair, even though they had the high ground, which was super unfortunate. They tried to do it, but given the circumstances, it was a very, very bad call. They had every angles open for themselves.
I remember doing back in season 1, Danley, where it was this point of time in the group stage where we asked the exact same question: will Bloody Hit get a booyah? And they got a booyah towards the tail end. Maybe this is it. It feels like deja vu, Bloody Hit was just waiting for that moment, and then they just score a booyah. But
they've only got 2 days left. I mean, they've got today and tomorrow, and then that's it.
They got 5 rounds left. I mean, the biggest difference is that season 1 they didn't qualify, but season 2 they look poised to qualify for the grand finals.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they look like they're literally in a position where they have this objective game where like, hey guys, we're just playing placements for the past few weeks, and then now, hey guys, we don't have enough kills, let's go crazy. And they did. The first 2 games, it didn't pay off tenfold, but this game, it definitely paid off a lot, because we did catch a little bit of glimpse of SAF putting like a lot of thought into their decision when they had to make a decision where, do we choose to fight against Bloody Hit, or do we sacrifice one of the guys just to go for placements, which eventually they knew for a fact that Circle was so far away from them, they had no choice but to lose one of the members and immediately rotated Circle. But it's just unfortunate that took a little bit too long to make that call, because eventually they got 4th place. It wasn't exactly the worst position to be in, but they could have gotten more if they had 4 men to actually hold that small, little, tiny, low ground, which they were kind of gatekept by Argon MY.
So it's one of those weird teams, right? In the sense that, like, you don't see a lot of booyahs in the end because they don't get a lot of kills. They have one of the lower end, below average kills per day. Right? In terms of placement, though, they're very high. And so that's what they'd look to do, is to just look to survive. This is a team with like 20.8 placement points, 11.3 kills per day. This is a very much just built for the survival piece, not looking to get those kills. So I think that's why you're not going to see them get a whole lot of the booyahs, because they're not able to get those kills in the end. So this is, just a team that you need to be careful. Just, they're always lurking in the corner. They're always looking to just clean up stuff, but they're not looking to just engage you straight ahead on. They're more like tactical, I would say. I don't know if tactical or survival. I don't know how you would want to call it, but this is a team that's looking to just survive and, stay for the long term.
I guess I can sum it up for you. It's literally just bullying the weak, isn't it? Whoever is limping, let's pick them off one by one and just bully him, drag him to the street and just beat him up.
I mean, Hawley, you're saying that it's not a team that looks for kills. Well, unfortunately, the next map might not look too good for them, right? Because Bermuda, the name of the game for Bermuda is practically kill or be killed, right? This is a map it's too small to play passive. We don't really see teams dodging like we would see on Purgatory and Kalahari. So what kind of changes would you have to make if you're a team that plays more passively? I'm also going to extend this question over to Husky. I want to just share this question between the two of you. What do passive teams need to do to adjust to Bermuda? Because this is such a fast playstyle kind of map.
I think just be a bit more proactive, right? Do the bloody hit, just play a bit
Do
more
the bloody
fearless.
hit.
Obviously, if your placement points are at risk, you might want to reconsider that. But if you feel like you're comfortable enough, then it's worth taking that engage, right? We saw how you can catch other teams off guard, like what PSG Radicals did to SAF. It is possible. So sometimes when you make the first move, you basically just give yourself a bit more leverage to work with. And I think maybe that tiny adjustment is going to give not just Bloody Hit, but any other teams that much more of an edge in any situations.
One of the biggest differences. Oh, sorry, go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think the biggest difference is if you're looking at this round standings here, look at the spread of kills throughout, right? Remember there were games where there was like only 5 teams with kills at all, and then all of a sudden it's spread out through 10 different teams that are getting, a wide variety of kills that are just kind of, everyone's fair game pretty much. Everyone can eat at this buffet, so to speak. And you're seeing Argon, Malaysia, Bloody Head. Yeah, they're not getting a whole lot of kills, but they still got 7, which is tied for the most in this one. Pretty big game by them. And so I think you're going to see a little bit of how the meta has shifted in the sense that teams are playing a little bit more passively, just looking for survival, not looking to just, dominate like Supreme Assault Forces has in the past.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said as well. Like the mentality of playing it safe kind of sticks towards everybody's mind, right? Like sometimes, oh my god, it's the last day of the day. I don't want to mess this up. And with that kind of mentality, we have this tendency to kind of play defensively rather than that taking unnecessary risks. And I would say that Bloody Hit, they literally flipped the switch like, hey, that's exactly what everybody's going to be thinking. You know what we're going to do? We're going to punish them for it. And that's exactly why I really like about them. However, for those of you guys watching at home here, I know you guys has been asking for codes after. Here it is right now. Redeem it right now, right on the screen before it's gone. This is only valid until to the end of the stream.
Actually claim a code. Actually, speaking of that, Icy Baby, I kind of want to bring up a point that so earlier this week, we had our tea time video with Freedom Rumble. Now, for people that are tuning into the stream and aren't quite sure what's happening with the leaderboard, Freedom Rumble are currently in, I believe, 13th place, and they're racing against Argon Malaysia to try and take that 12th spot. Top 12 make it to the final round. And we asked them, what was their general approach to trying to make it to top 12? And interestingly enough, they said that coming into this week, they are going to play more around placement points rather than kills, because their point of view is that if you can place high, the kills will come along with it. Now, I want to hear our casters' opinions on this as we jump into Bermuda, but Holler and Husky, take it away, but give me your thoughts. Like, what do you think about this point of view from Freedom Rumble?
Thank you so much, Danny and Icy Baby 12. We're going to go into Bermuda here. And it looks like, I mean, just kind of going on to with your question, I think Freedom Rumble, they've changed, right? We have seen them previously where they were super aggressive, taking every single fight that they could. But in this case, it looks like they've kind of taken a step back and they're like, hey, we might be eliminated, but we're actually at the same time, we're not playing to our strengths of how our normal games go, where we like to take the fight to you. Now, Husky, what are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree, and I think it's something that I shared at the start of the major and also FFMC, where sure, you know, you can be an aggressive team, but if you play for placements, the kills, they do come along, because to get the booyah, you need to kill the enemy team. So one way or the other, you're gonna get some points on the board in terms of kills regardless. So I agree with the approach of Freedom Rumble, but it is also interesting to see how you can kind of say how the grade have slightly fallen, right? Freedom Rumble were once the Titans, and now they are barely in reach of qualifying. In fact, because of Argon NY's amazing round just now, Freedom Rumble are in a even more of a pinch. Things are getting harder for them to make it to top 12.
I think when the league started, Freedom Rumble were like a shoe-in, right? In terms of the top 12, making sure that they get into the grand finals. But, I mean, if the fact that they get eliminated or they don't get into top 12, would that not be the biggest upset of the league?
I would definitely say so. I think Freedom Rumble showed a lot of promises. Even at FFMC, again, we compared them to Fast NY a lot. We always say that these two teams felt like carbon copies. The only difference being that Freedom Rumble, they win every fight they take. They are really good with pushes. They somehow just do everything right. And that was the case, right, for the first half of the group stage. But after the group shuffle, Freedom Rumble started going downhill. They went from top 3 to top 6 and now 13th place. So that is a hard spot to be in, and it's also going to be the same for Zep Squad. I would say Do Easy taking out 2 members already. Doesn't matter too much for Zep Squad at least, but Do Easy, they would love to get a few points for themselves.
Yeah, Do Easy just like preying on the weak, so to speak. Zep Squad looking to just play spoiler, at least for today. Type 64 just running for his life, but a nice little, a nice knock onto Monarch, who looks like he's going to bleed out here. Do Easy, they're on the prowl, and it looks like they're going to look to just clean up Monarch here. Yeah,
even going to drive in just to make sure that, you know, they get control of the area. Monarch, he's definitely out. And Zemno from Tactical Intax actually got 1 kill as well off of Zep Squad. So the 3 members of Zep Squad out. ITH getting 1, Do Easy getting 2 kills. So the rest of the game, we're probably not going to see much of Zeps at all.
And SAF here just trying to loot as much as they can. He's got the nice little scythe here. But Forbids, let's go with a nice shot on a nice knock on the Cry Fu. And they're looking to just kind of pick off on Bloodyhead, who've been very active, at least in terms of moving around the map. But SAF, 2 kills to start this off, and they're looking to hunt down Morgana.
And SAF, in the last round. I think they got 11 points, so they want to do it. I think this is a bit of a payback, for what Bloody did to them in the previous round. They forced McGrory, to make a hard decision. Damon went down, and then all of us were blaming McGrory for being a bad teammate. And this is it. This is them, paying it back, taking out 2 members of Bloody and making sure that Bloody is not going to cause too much trouble as the game goes on. But Tactical Intax, they're about to crash into the compound of Do Easy.
Yeah, and Do Easy here just continuing to loot. And it looks like IPAN is going to look to just kind of ambush ITX, but this is a numbers game. Do Easy does need to be a little bit careful. I don't know if he wants to fight all 4 at the same time. Zipnu is looking to just peek over this fence, and they're right next to each other, and I think they can see each other through the holes, but it looks like they're not going to go for this one. He's going to get ambushed here. I don't know how the time turner is going to be used. He's just going to look to heal through this one. IPAN, very ambitious heal right there, and he does have his team support, and it looks like they're just trying to jump over and shoot him over the fence here, but IPAN in an awkward position, has nowhere to go. He does get the nice little knock and the kill, onto Trix. IPAN is looking to turn this up. He's only got 10 HP though. He does get knocked in the end from the other end.
Took a bit longer than expected, but I guess for ITX, what matters the most is that they got the job done. I mean, IPAN, I cannot believe he survived for that long. He should have went down way earlier, but with that knocked, Tactical Intax, thankfully they did not lose anyone. Trix will be topped up, and they also forced Do Easy away, farther away from Plantation. So at least for Tactical Intax, they will get 1 point on the board, and they make sure that Do Easy will not have that full squad as the game progresses.
And ITX, they're letting IPAN just kind of bleed out. I don't know if this is a slow roll or what, but they're making it slow and painful. But Xbox just goes right into Freedom Rumble. They're looking to just turn this one up. And Xbox with a nice 2K there. He's just looking to just kind of fight this one out. He does get the nice little pick up here. He does get knocked from the other end. Freedom Rumble Vegeta makes him pay.
And Freedom Rumble, the rest of the team coming in, for the backup just at the right time. Could have gone really bad, but Reno P goes for the swing, and the dry pick actually worked out. They take out Drax. Arpam is running for his life, and that time turn is going to keep Manchai safe. And despite Freedom Rumble's best effort, it might not be enough. Vegeta, he can only do so much. Freedom Rumble once more not getting too much, and this is the last round of the day, and unfortunately Freedom Rumble will not get any closer to that top 12. Metrics will plant their flags on the dead bodies of FRU as they will continue the run for the top 12, potentially.
Oh, the irony. The fact that they got 12th place, but they're not going to get 12th place in the overall standings, as they're probably going to stay in 3rd. Argon and Malaysia are grinning ear to ear at this point because they're still in this one, still able to get more points. Freedom Rumble, disastrous day for them. They need to finish strong tomorrow, and we're going to see the last of them for at least today.
And the also, on top of the whole 12th place irony, is also the fact that they got taken up by Metrics of all teams. Metrics, the team that was trying to catch up to them, but also have almost no chance of making it to the top 12, is stopping them from qualifying for the grand finals. That's probably the biggest slap on the face. But like you said, they have 4 more rounds tomorrow. They have to finish strong. But that's the story for Sunday, as Bloody Head will get knocked out by Cannot Brain. And somehow XBR also putting up a minor upset.
Yeah, that's not a minor one. That's a major one. Bloody Head there, just trying to stay alive and keep their tournament lives at stake. But just unfortunately, just be in the wrong place, wrong time. Gets eliminated there. We haven't seen too much of Cannot Brain, but they look to just turn this one up. AKO Legend here in a skirmish with Umbrella. This is a long corridor. This is very difficult for AKO to kind of get that nice little shot off, nice little pick off there. And it looks like they're going to play this one a little bit carefully. Umbrella Reborn just trying to stick around, and they are getting shot here by AKO.
And AKO already lost Russell thanks to Umbrella Reborn. And even though AKO Legend have a couple of angles covered, they are still outnumbered. And I like what Umbrella Reborn is doing. They are regrouping. They're making sure that AKO will not pincer them in any way. So despite AKO being the superior team in terms of mechanics, when it comes out to numbers, Umbrella Reborn will always have that advantage.
And it looks like they little Houdini action there, right? AKO Legend thought that they were going to just completely flank them, and they, Umbrella Reborn, just like a poof of smoke, they're gone. They're out the door. No, they have no idea where they are. AKO Legend are on the prowl, trying to find out, trying to get their bearings straight in terms of where the other teams are. AKO Legend just running for the life, just trying to stay alive at this point.
Yeah, and AKO Legend, they definitely need to start making some distance, creating distance between them and Umbrella Reborn. They did leave Taken behind just in case, if they see Umbrella Reborn starting to rotate, maybe Taken can catch someone off guard. But with how things are looking, I don't think AKO can spring that ambush successfully. I mean, Umbrella Reborn, they're already in the circle.
Yeah, they're in the circle. AKO Legend are sticking around, though. Oh, now there's getting some shots. And Taken with a nice little shot. He did a little bit of damage. Error will just heal on, on the backside of this, considering there's a lot of cover, and it's very difficult to get any sort of shot onto AKO here. But that circle's starting to close in. They do need to be a little bit careful, and it looks like they're going to just avoid the fight altogether, make their way further north as they make their way up. But they're going to run right into Blade from Zeth, who's all by himself. He's literally just hiding in a corner, just trying to stay alive, just with the whole mentality of, if I don't move, they can't see me. Let's see if Zeth Blade can survive.
Yeah, we saw the overlap of the members of Zeth and AKO, and Zeth still safe for now. But on the other end, Umbrella Reborn, because they were shooting at AKO, they have alerted Metrics, and Mantai is going to get himself another sweet kill onto Umbrella Reborn, bringing them down to just 3 guys as the circle is so far away from these 2 teams. Metrics, they got a head start. They did leave Rin OP behind. He is kind of trapped, and that grenade is going to alert UMB of his location. But Metrics, at the same time, the other 2 guys have been able to get a decent angle. Argon and Wido, they're challenging SAF.
They're challenging them. McCrory's already dead at this point. I mean, SAF are just trying to run for their lives, realizing that, hey, Argon Malaysia, this is a full squad team. We need to stay alive. And it looks like they're going to throw up some glue walls, and let's go. Oh, Sparks with a nice shot onto Forbids. Does get the knock there. And it looks like they're going to try to run. Oh, he does get the kill.
I mean, let's go try to be the good teammate. He drops the glue wall, but he didn't aim it far enough. That glue wall actually blocked Forbids, and handed Argon an easy kill. Not really sure if it would have made too much of a difference. I believe Argon would just break through the wall and got 2 kills instead of 1 anyways. But McGrory died, I believe, because he got caught off guard by Cannot Brain while he was running uphill early on. SAF once more on the back foot with only 2 members left. Zeth Squad, the Blade not so lucky. They finally found it, and it's Umbrella Reborn that spots him. So he survives AKO Legend, but not Umbrella Reborn.
Yeah, and this is these towers are like the worst place to hide. Like, I don't know what it is. It's like no one survives defending that area, and it looks like Umbrella Reborn will clean that one up, and they're gonna just make their way into the circle. They've done a pretty decent job already. They've got 2 kills on the back of Zay here as they look to cross over the bridge. No, they're gonna look to go under it, become trolls, literally.
So far, I mean, Umbrella Reborn, I thought they got way more kills, but it seems like they only got 2 so far. Both of them going over to Zay, as I believe Zimnu just got knocked out, most likely by the blue zone. AKO Legend, they have relocated themselves, and Umbrella Reborn might just run straight into them again. And this time, UMB only has 3 guys to work with, so these 2 teams are kind of on even playing fields if they cross paths. But Umbrella Reborn would take a longer route just to wrap around AKO, and AKO, they will stay put where they are.
I think it's a good move by Umbrella, right? They have 3 men. They don't know, if the enemy team right there has 4 or, just fortify that position. So it's probably safer to just, avoid them altogether and try to get a little bit more intel before you make that decision. But they're in the circle. They are safe. So it's just a matter of making sure that they do survive. They want those placement points, which is going to be helpful for them. And of course, play spoiler in the rest of the league, just trying to get as many kills as possible. But look at SAF all the way outside of the circle, and they're trying to make their way in. And it looks like there's going to be a convergence here as MTX's Metrics, that is going to look to just gatekeep here as Daymoon is looking to peek around that tree, but they did not actually spot him, and it looks like they're going to let them go scot-free.
The timing was a bit off for Metrics, and that's going to work in SAF's favor if they run right now, because all of the other teams will have to start beelining into that safe zone. And I think Metrics, they're still sticking around for a bit longer. They still have 45 seconds to work with. So if they can catch SAF on the rotation, this is going to be huge. Metrics themselves only have 2 more guys to work with, so they can't really aggressively run into the circle. But like you pointed out, SAF, they can't just safely get into the safe zone because of so many other teams, and the patience from MTX paid off. Mantai gets let's go, bringing SAF down to just 1 member.
Wow, what a nice gatekeep there. My inside just playing complete gatekeep. Daymoon is by himself, yes, and it looks like he's going to slowly bleed out there. But Metrics is looking to make their way up, at least in terms of maybe surpassing Freedom Rumble. There's about a 30-point difference. We'll see after this match, especially since Freedom Rumble got eliminated early. But Argon Malaysia, this is the big one. In terms of where Metrics is at, it's about a 50-point gap. Is that too much? We're going to have to see, especially since Argon Malaysia is still in the game here. But, this is what we wanted. We wanted that competition. We wanted to see who really deserves it for that elusive 12th spot.
Absolutely. And Daymoon somehow survived that. We saw the entirety of UMB ran past him. Not sure if they checked. I'm guessing that Daymoon was just he's probably a ninja. So he was able to survive that, but the circle is still closing in. And now he has to make a call. What can he do in the situation? 3 teams in front of him. If he runs straight, he's gonna run straight into multiple crosshairs. But there's honestly not much place for him to work with at this point. Maybe SAF would just have to give this up. He can still make it to the edge of that water tank, and he's gonna do so. But that also puts him in line of sight of UMB.
Yeah, this is super risky. He's not actually spotted. There doesn't look like any teams are looking at firing him. Umbrella Reborn is right there, but they've got their attention planted elsewhere. So they don't even know that Daymoon is right around their corner. So it looks like they're going to let him live, at least for now. Error is just looking to heal. Daymoon is in the corner, just playing possum at this point, just trying to stay alive, trying to get those placement points. But Error looking to sneak around. He does see that AKO is on the prowl. They do need to be a bit careful. But can Daymoon actually play spoiler as the third party? Would you do that as Daymoon? Would you look to just kind of try to steal as many kills as possible?
Now, not really, right? There's like 25 other guys alive, and if he drops a pin, they will kill him. So I don't think Daymoon will do anything. He's just gonna wait for the carnage to subside before he. I think it's more about placements right now. I mean, realistically, there's nothing much that he can do on his own, no matter how good a player one can be. When you're outnumbered, you're at a disadvantage. And now the next challenge is to make it into the next circle. And AKO Legend, they have that one guy on the edge, and Tactical Intex is on the other end. I mean, Daymoon, if he's a lucky person, I think that luck is about to run out.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just trying to stay camo, trying to be like, hey, I'm not here, guys, don't even try to bother me. But Daymoon is by himself now. He does get eliminated. That's going to be 7th. Zipnu will steal that kill. They end up with 4 kills thus far, and they're looking at just trying to turn this around. Zipnu with a triple kill, just kind of start this. Maru does need to run into that circle. He runs in, throws out the frying pan, gets a little bit of speed, is looking to go in. The grenades galore. Shiro gets a nice little shot there onto Maru. He does get the knock there. No kill so far. More glue walls coming up by 4X Men Expert.
Space somehow was able to barely squeeze into the zone, but that nade, it's gonna take him out regardless. The Forest Man Expert pretty much cornered behind a truck. You can see the rest of Cannot Brain. They are circling, Forest Man Expert like sharks. One just get that wall back to take a Spade, and Rybel, he's gonna be the last guy, but he is going to fight and not go down without dealing some damage. He's down in the red, couple of medkits to work with, but this should be it, right? He jumps out, swing Shiro, takes him out, still playing around the circles. He has no more glue walls to work with, 4 nades, but in these kind of CQCs, let's see what he can do. His best, not enough though. XPR still takes him out.
Yeah, Rybel there was, unfortunately, you have to reload at times, so he got caught out there. He does end up getting killed, and it looks like there's going to be 5 teams left. ITX, Tactical Intex, that is, are looking to just rush in, try to vulture as many kills as possible, but they do need to be careful about the high ground. They're in this building. They're all stuck inside. This is not great, especially if grenades are in play, but Umbrella's continuing to get the kills. They do need to be careful, but as I say that, they do get eliminated. Niall is looking to just wrap around. He's trying to find AKO, but he actually can't find the exit from this maze here of glue walls. AKO Dexo, and they do get eliminated.
AKO out in 4th place, and yeah, ITX, they have a compound to work with, but when you're trapped in a compound and you have a bunch of people, an angry mob waiting outside, this is become a really dangerous place. Mishiro is gonna take out Tricks and ITX. Maybe they've trapped themselves in a death box. because ITX down to just now, and the rest of XPR, they're gonna come in and swoop up the win. And speaking about Cannot Brain, they are on an absolute roll. 3 members left alive. This might just be their first booyah. Argon and Y, they want to also get their booyah for themselves. If they get it, this is gonna be the second one of the day. But Cannot Brain, it is time for them to make history. They just can't do it though. Argon and Y, just a bit stronger and a bit better. This is gonna be the second booyah of the day. In fact, it's 2 in a row for Argon Malaysia.
Argon Malaysia turning it up when they needed to. This is a team that's been on the rise. Everything that they've done. I mean, my Hydro, Sparks, Afik, big props to these guys. They've had nothing but great scores throughout. They've been consistently stronger throughout the league, and you're seeing just why, how they're able to turn it up. I don't know if it's the potato chips he's eating, but that man right there is getting some kills. Argon Malaysia's turning it up. They've got all their snacks. Everybody take some notes in terms of, hey, you want to be a pro Free Fire player, you need to eat the same snacks.
Yeah, and then he has everything, right? He has, I believe he did show a picture of someone else. I'm guessing, you know, his significant other. He has that laid out. He has his Mr. Potato Chips, and everything is all the stars are aligning for Argon and Y. Again, 2 booyahs in a row. Just when you thought that Argon and Y are on the ropes, they completely widen the gap, and that is enough to cement themselves in top 12 by the end of the day. But let's bring back both Danilee and Icy Baby 12, as Hall mentioned early on, and see what they have to say about Argon NY's second booyah.
I think at this rate, it's safe to say that this might be an impossible task for Freedom Rumble. 2 booyahs in one day for Argon NY, and Freedom Rumble have barely been able to scrape past the middle of the pack. I don't know. What do you do? This has just been a terrible day for Freedom Rumble.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, Freedom Rumble had one of the roughest start thus far, and you know, based on math-wise, they still have 4 more games for tomorrow. Technically, they can still pull the miracle run, but currently, Argon and MY, they are in a much comfortable position than they were at the start of the day thus far. And for them to get this final booyah, which was kind of surprising for me, because Argon, they were in a very awkward spot. Just because during 4th circle, the circle was in their favor, but when 5th circle kind of showed their way through, there was just a lot of open grounds for them to actually rotate to the 5th circle, especially in the northern side of Bima Sak Strip. And I was so surprised they actually made it to the final bloodbath. So it's kind of crazy considering like this final. I think this final game for Group B and Group C, we saw a huge switch in terms of mentality from all the teams thus far, playing extremely aggressive, especially coming from MTX, from Umbrella Reborn, and it's kind of weird. And even SAF, they were victims in the hands of Umbrella Reborn, as well as the guys down south.
It just seems like it's the rise of the underdogs today. I mean, we said it last week, but it's really evident that we're not really seeing too many of the top tier teams ending up at the end of these rounds. They're getting eliminated somewhere in the middle of these matches, and it's baffling because we have to figure out. I mean, I don't know if Husky and Hauler, you guys managed to figure it out, but what are these teams doing that our top contenders aren't doing so far? Is it just because they're hungry for these points? Are they more driven?
I guess to a certain extent, right? These guys are playing more freely. They are actually taking those fights, right? And back then, no one would dare challenge SAF. Maybe PhD Radicals, right? It's only like these 2 arch nemesis, you know, these 2 rivals, and suddenly you add other teams into the equation. I think SAF, you know, like when you are up top and more people start to rise up, you definitely start feeling the pressure. I think SAF, they're facing that right now, but despite Argon NY, you know, even though Argon NY got the second booyah, you have to give props to Cannot Brain. That was a massive game. Sure, they are not in contention for top 12 at all, but the fact that they were still able to put up that kind of performance was something that they deserve credit for.
You know, I think it comes down to the mentality of the pros as well as guys who are not qualifying here. Sorry to say. I agree with you and say Cannot Brain and Umbrella Reborn, they are on the same boat with what Bloody Hit is thinking as well. What is there to lose? You know, we need to go give our all. It just goes ham all the way through. And we saw multiple instances where I think it was Umbrella Reborn who didn't give a crap about their surrounding and went just wherever there's gunshots, we're just running in a straight line. We don't care about position and just push forward. And they were able to catch off so many people off surprise by surprise, because if you give a team like SAF, they're so used towards this mentality where, okay, there's a team there. They're not going to push openly out of open and try and flank us from here, because that is a very bad spot to be in. But Umbrella Reborn, they didn't care. It just pushed in forward, and that actually caught SAF by surprise. That was really, really chaotic to watch. But nevertheless, Cannot Brain, who would have thought, being in the bottoms for so long, this is the booyah that they needed.
Not even a boo there, they got second place, but they got 9 kills, so not gonna lie, they still got the booyah. Cannot Brain, unfortunately. No booyahs for them in the group stage yet. The fact that this is probably the first and only time we will see Cannot Brain at the top of the round standings.
I think
Probably.
These teams like Cannot Explain, Umbrella Reborn, it's like channeling their Destiny's Child, right? In the sense of just say my name, right? Understand who I am. Just, hey, if we're going to ever see each other down the road in MCP Season 3 or whatever it is, you're going to know who I am. Cannot Brain just proving that, hey, it doesn't really matter. We're going to fight and to the bitter end. I don't care if I'm eliminated or not. I'm going to make sure that I ruin your day at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, their name makes sense, right? Literally, Cannot Brain. They cannot brain this situation. Like, this team towards the end of the leaderboard, all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey guys, final week, booyah, thanks. But essentially, what they've done as well, right? So this is also something to take into consideration. When one of these bottom tier teams takes the booyah and secures a lot of kills, they're essentially denying those points to another team that could make use of those points. So for Cannot Explain, essentially they're probably going into this week thinking, okay, we're not going to make it, let's just full on YOLO. And to play like that mentally, to be mentally free of the stress, knowing that you're so close to being top 12, for them they're probably just playing it as if it's a pub, enjoying themselves. And it's so much easier to play like that. You can tell when a team is very tense, because when it comes to decision making, it's a very in the moment thing. And we've seen teams, when it comes to final circles, just choke because of that stress.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy about that as well. And for those guys watching and waiting for that code here, it's going to be up on screen right now. Redeem it before it's gone. The validity of the code is going to be until the end of the stream. And as soon as I say it, it's gone. I'm sorry, you missed it out. You got to pull back a little bit for the codes. But now, I definitely agree with Danley as well. There is just so many brain dead moments where, why would you be there? And they're literally just out and open, in a very unfavorable position, and they punish you for this kind of aggression. And that's what Bloody Hate kind of tried to do in Game 1, Game 2. But unfortunately, this group, I must say, it's extremely unpredictable coming from Group B and Group C, Danny.
Okay, guys. Group A and C is worse, because this is essentially the Apex Predator group. I know the casters are going to want a bit of a break, because we're going to be jumping into some mayhem real quick on Purgatory. So before then, we'll go for a quick break. And once we return, we'll jump right into the groups. Yeah? Good idea? All right, we'll see you after this break.
Hey, yo, Moco. What up, Zero? About that time.
Let's get 'em. Max out. I'm the one that they ask about. Money team better come with your racks out. Stadium packed out, crowd going crazy. Queen of this hair, I ain't leaving my chair. Money green high heels, I make them shiver. Post up, post off, and I deliver. I'm gold, you glitter, they old and bitter. I'ma fight for it. Take it to the next level, ride like a bike pedal. Hotter than a kettle on fire. Stand back and admire. Winning this game and I'm taking the empire. Time to start the show, ready now, fire. Revolution, I'm here with the solution. Top contender, I'm the one they keep choosing. If it ain't me, I'ma need you to tell me who then. Fiction time, kick 'em out and I'm moving. Who want it? You want it, let's get it. Come with the ambush, now they saying forget it. Start at the beginning, you'll be done in like a minute. I don't have no limit, all I know is winning. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you. I've been here before, I have felt this. This eternal war, I was dealt this. A true rebel in arms, I put pebble to palm and dig deep. I'm the heartbeat for the helpless. Delve deeper, the grim reaper, the phlegm leaker, limb breacher, keeping the fire aiming at them people. And I ain't about to worry about a nemesis. Better risk it all. I don't start, but I finish this. Go to battle with adversaries, have them carried away when they waving that flag. I take it to the max and go round after round, round up the pound. Soon as I get done with that, light another match. Set a blaze blaze to the maze full of competitors. My instincts are in sync, my only weapon, bruh. And I ain't backing down, I ain't giving up. They wanna tear it down, I'ma build it up. Up in the clouds is where I wanna land. Survival of the fittest, I ain't running, man. That's the sound of the victory. After it's all done, you'll remember me. I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to you.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the MCP Majors Season 2, and we're about to jump into our final series of the day. It's our 2 matches for Groups A versus C, as I like to call it, the Apex Predator Group, where there are far too many predators and not enough prey. Icy Baby, I'm going to have to get your opinion on this. What do you think we're going to be seeing in this group of death?
You know, that's the thing, right? That there's just so many group of devs. Like we talked about Group A and Group B. Hey, we have the top 2 contenders being one of the group of devs. But guess what? SAF kind of dropped the ball in the first series. And currently, Radicals, they are in a prime position to try and challenge the number 1 spot by the end of this week. Currently, SAF not doing too well in this first day thus far, in this final week. PXG Radicals, and I feel like this final 2 game, they have to go crazy ham once again. Like whatever they're doing from game 1 and game 2, they should stick to what they're doing here. But the only thing about it is that will other teams think alike with them as well? Everybody is looking to secure their spots, or in this case, getting a little bit more points into this placement. But as of now, these are your current overall standings after 4 games in day 1 here, Daddy.
Oh, look at Argo and MY. They shot up to 9th place after their performance today. Wow.
That's gotta be a pretty good spot, you know, with the 2 booyahs in the final 2 rounds for themselves for today. You know, getting an 8th spot, they're gonna be feeling a little bit happy. However, here's the plot twist. Do Easy is not too far behind. It's only 3 points behind, alongside with Bloody Hate. So I would say this is gonna be a neck and neck position. But fortunately for them, Views is on 12th place with which a pretty decent margin into the point, so it's not that far behind. But I feel like based on Freedom Rumble's performance today, they gotta be saying that, oh my goodness, all this sweat and tears from today's games, Freedom Rumble dropped the ball. I gotta be feeling a little bit more better for themselves compared going towards tomorrow's game or this coming games as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Freedom Rumble, tomorrow's do or die. It's essentially their fate lies in their performance tomorrow, but also the fate of Wheels, because Wheels is essentially the closest team to them, but even then they need to get enough points to not only offset the points that Wheels get, but to also be able to take over Wheels. Now, unfortunately, Freedom Rumble, I do believe they've completed all their games for today, so we're not going to be seeing them anymore. We're going to be seeing more of a rat race for the teams at the top of the bracket, because we are seeing the top teams compete in these final 2 groups. Now, I do believe we're just about ready to jump into our first match of Group A versus C, so we'll pass it over to Hauler and Husky, who'll take it away for our first game on Purgatory.
Thank you, Danielle and Icy Baby 1-2. Yes, final 2 rounds. And of course, I will be alongside Hauler to bring you guys Group A versus Group C, 2 of the strongest groups in the second half of the league stage. We've seen Freedom Rumble complete their 4 games today. Unfortunately, they were not even close to 12th place. Their fate lies in their own hands, and their own hands only tomorrow. But right now, Group A and Group C, it is all for the points. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to PXG Radicals trying to make up for 38 points in 2 matches, right? And that's the gap from SAF, from PXG. If they're able to do this, of course, they shoot up into first place, something that we did not expect. We did not think it was even possible at this point to do that. But they're in a prime position to overtake SAF. I think that'd be pretty massive. Getting in that 2,000 USD would be a giant. I was gonna say no, I'm going to go with a different word now because it's a family show, but we're going to go into that a little bit later. It's going to be Purgatory that's going to be coming up. This is going to be match 5. This is going to be Group A versus C. But again, PXG Radicals, they can make their way up and they can overtake Supreme Assault Forces.
That feels less like a dream and more like an imminent possibility. You know, you did point out, I think last week or the week before, that SAF's worst day was 50 points, right? 50 plus points. But that has changed because their worst day is officially today. 17 points in 4 rounds. They have descended to kind of the realm of normal peasants. But that is going to give PXG Radicals so much more confidence now that they know that SAF is not going to play for the rest of the day. They have a lot more space to work with. But since it's A versus C, you always have to be aware of those frontrunners from Group C as well. AKO Legends, for X-Men Expert. These guys are still, a force to be reckoned with, alongside Tactical Intex.
Mm-hmm. Definitely something you need to be careful about. Tactical Intex is probably the strongest team, or at least they're making their way up and trying to overtake AKO Legend. They are so close. They're only a point behind. So Tactical Intex could come out as the prime dog, the alpha dog, so to speak, in Group C. This is definitely within possibility, even in this match alone. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to see as they go in. But hey, we got to give shout outs to Cannot Brain, Umbrella Reborn, Zest Squad, these 3 teams that were kind of out on the, they're still on the outside looking in, but these are the teams that have played spoiler throughout all day today. They've made sure that, hey, even in the situation where Cannot Brain has only, deployed 3 of their troops, they're looking to just kind of play spoiler. Just make sure they get as many kills as possible and points taken away from everybody else because they want to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, at least, for Do Easy, Bloody Hit, Wheels, and Freedom Rumble, we will not see this 14, also Oregon and Y, we will not see these 5 teams, from 9 to 13 place play. So it's more of the standing shifting, from first place to 8th place, and also 14 to 17, pretty much. It's pretty interesting, right? The guys from Group B, they're all kind of packed together, in that close to that 12th place, with SAF being the only exception up in first place for now.
Mm-hmm. It's so crazy how things have turned, right? I think you're seeing a lot of the peaks that are happening from Group B. I think that those teams have really shown a very, very strong finish, at least to the end of the league. So it's interesting just seeing how, the teams have reacted, how they've learned from mistakes, and they've gotten better. But Cobra looking to just try to heal. He does get jumped here. Time Turner is going to be used for now. Cobra getting solo. He does get knocked. Zeth Blade looking to just do what he can. He does get the kill there. And Clanex does get the knock as well. They're looking to just do it. A little bit of 50-50 firefight, and Clanex gets a nice flank there, but this blue wall is being a little bit of an issue for Zeth. He doesn't know what to do. Are they able to do it? And Monarch does get the kill, and it looks like he's going to look to pick him up, and he does get first blood after all of that. Monarch does get the kill.
What a shot call from Zeth Squad. They saw Cobra alone, and they immediately just pushed him. Again, no hesitation. They make the call, they commit to it, and they got 2 kills in return. Blacklist International, they're still trying to make something happen, but this fight is pretty much over. I'm not sure if Manflank wants to even be involved, but it seems like with Type 64 getting that kill on that knock onto Phoenix, Manflank has no choice but to get involved, and this is a fight that Blacklist will not have a chance to win at all. Zep Squad gets a full team wipe, and they lose none.
Just a really awkward fight. The fact that you had 2 of your players just trying to go in against a full squad of 4, that just seems like, I don't know about you, but that's not how I math, right? When I'm looking for even numbers or, having an advantage, I feel like when you're going up 2 versus 4, you're going to have a bad time. And Black International, just, again, this is a team that's been on the decline. They haven't done so well in the past, 4 or 5 days. This is a team that's kind of limping into the grand finale. Yes, they will guarantee they will make it, but this is something, they need to look internally, figure out what they're, the strategy they're doing incorrectly, because this is not a good fight to be taking. And they've looked like, because of that, they've been eliminated first here.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder, it gets me curious, like, who is the IGL, who shot calls in Blacklist International, because whoever made the call just now to still contest that, probably would need to, reconsider his decision making, because that was pretty poor, to put it bluntly, a very poor approach to what was already a losing fight. Now with Blacklist out of the picture, Zev Squad getting 4 free points. Again, these guys unfortunately will not qualify for the grand finals, but they're taking away 4 points from every other teams who are gunning, for their standings. And if you are Zev Squad, if you're in their position, you're gonna feel pretty good about yourselves.
Yeah, Z Squad. I mean, this is completely different Z Squad that we've seen in the past. I don't know what it is. If different brand of potato chips, or I think the monster drinks the energy drinks that they might have had, but they've really just something has clicked with them, and it seems like this don't care. Let's just take as many fights as possible has really turned up for them. But as I say, that Monarch just getting knocked down. I think he knocks himself down.
And sometimes you raise them up too high, and then they just fall. But
Yeah,
thankfully,
that's my bad.
he's
That's
not
on me.
I mean, Cannot Brain, they're playing with 3 guys for this round, but they had a really good previous round. So again, they're also one of the teams that will not qualify for the grand finals. But now it gets me excited, right? Instead of looking at PSG Radicals potentially overtaking SAF, I want to see how much these teams at the bottom can spoil the game for everyone else. They're playing freely. They don't really care about the points that they get. In fact, every single point that they get is a point that they're taking away from those who needed it more.
And you're going to see the individual battles between the teams. Again, we talked many times about SAF and PXG Radicals. Very close. 38 points is the only difference there. But if you're looking in the mid-tier, Fast Kill, AKO, Tactical Intex, Blacklist, Forks, X-Men Expert, Almighty, this is a big chunk that they're fighting to see who's 3rd to 7th at this point. It's very, very close in that sense. And then you're talking about the bottom tier. Who actually makes it into the grand finals? It's going to be Do Easy, Bloodyhead, Woos, and Freedom Rumble, and maybe an off-chance Metrics. But this is a battle that we're wanting to see, and especially it's going to go to the last day tomorrow, but we're going to figure out who can be in the best prime position to make sure that they get themselves into the money, so to speak, of that grand finals.
And FSK, their first 2 rounds isn't really that great, but that could change pretty quickly. It's a good flush from here. It's going to force Orange out into the open, and Cannot Brain just get annihilated. So FSK will put the first point on the board. You can see PSG Radicals swinging fast from behind, and FSK, they're going to see the members of PSG passing by. But it seems like, the silver medalists for now, they're not going to stop and take any fights. Know that this is not what they want to be involved in. Early on, I think FSK did get a knock on the JZ, but Almighty was able to resurrect him.
Yeah, and he's up there, Fast Kill, are just kind of, hey, they're basically just playing entry on that hill. They realize the importance of that position. The circle has not taken that away from them, so they're going to continue to just literally die on that hill as they just stand up there. But PXG have driven by. They know that they've moved through. They had the vehicles there. Everybody knows where these guys are. I mean, they have, literally a spaceship on their team here by Insanity. So, by Ramiel and Insanity. But yeah, they're trying to just loot as much as possible. Again, they're looking to play for the late game. They do need to be a bit careful, though, considering these vehicles are pretty much marked targets. Everybody knows you're in the vicinity.
And I think they want to... I think the initial plan was to drive further away, but Umbrella Reborn, I think they isolated Insanity or Tana more early on, so now it's going to force PSG Radicals to make a couple of pit stops nearby just to regroup with the team. This compound is pretty okay. There is some distance between them and Umbrella Reborn, and knowing these 2 teams, PSG Radicals are just way higher on the chart of mechanical prowess.
Yeah, and they're going to look to probably just get some snipes here. Fast Kill, again, just stay on that hill. Not really looking to do much. But Umbrella Reborn, that's an interesting one. I'm sure they saw him, so they should not get ambushed. As I say, that Batman is getting shot, and yeah, he's going to look to just, take out his frying pan, because that's what you do as Batman. You don't have a gun, right?
Yeah, Batman, again, he has been super quiet ever since week number 5. Not really sure what happened. I mean, AJ has a theory. If you call out a name, was it Margaret? And he just becomes depressed. Not sure. I don't follow DC too much, but I'm assuming that's it.
Okay, I thought you were going to make some parent joke, but okay, that works too with Margaret. Nonetheless, Batman has not really been able to show up. Not a whole lot of kills. More about the utility for him. So kind of sticking to the whole Batman motif of not killing people with guns. But as I say that, AKO taken. Just getting some shots in here. Time Turner's going to keep him alive. I don't know who he's shooting right now. Oh, it looks like it's a team from Almighty.
Yeah, Almighty, they are kind of a trap at campsite, and if AKO pressuring them and the circle not in their favor, Almighty have around a minute to make a decision. But the thing is, they can't really rotate into the safe zone just because of AKO, so they have their work cut out for them. AKO though, they're not gonna stick around for long. It seems they are. In fact, the entirety of AKO, they're moving away. So Almighty, they have completely dodged a bullet. They should be able to make it into the circle when the blue zone starts closing in.
I actually like that call. I think that, you know what I mean? Like, you've given away your position by shooting at them. You try to shoot your shot, so to speak. You missed. They ran away from you. Instead of chasing after them like, a brain dead person, so to speak, or a zombie in this case, I think it's the right place of just, hey, redeploy, right? Go back into hiding. Let the teams figure out where you are again instead of just being in the obvious position of just chasing after this team. So a good heads-up play there. AKO Legend, again, looking to just kind of make sure that they have a strong late game by surviving to the end. As I say this, Tactical Intex here is getting jumped on by Woos.
And Wheels, I think Limit did get knocked down. They brought him back up, and ITX, they are just taking this fight head on. In fact, they're not giving Wheels any space to breathe. And yeah, Wheels, they're in the 12th place, but and thankfully Freedom Rumble isn't playing anymore. So Wheels, this last 2 games is their chance to widen the gap, but it doesn't mean that they're in the clear. In fact, off screen, Zef Squad, they are taking on Forex-Man Expert. This is an absolute bloodbath on the map, and this is Purgatory. It's kind of the biggest map of the league, but the teams are just playing super aggressive.
Yeah, Zeth, ITX. Oh, Zeth Squad has been eliminated there. 4X-Men Expert does end up getting the kills. There were a decent number of grenades, but we've had action throughout. ITX is just looking to rush up onto Woos. Embalor's got a shotgun out. He's looking to just duel this, but he gets eliminated. Woos is out 8th place. That's pretty massive. They are the 12th position team, so it looks like, they need as many points as possible, but AKO Legend is looking to come out the victor.
And it's going to be the end of Wheels, at least for round 5. But for Tactical Intex, their race to getting better positions in the standings continues. AKO Legends, like you mentioned, still in the game. So Tactical Intex, they still have some work to do. But with Taken already out of the game, AKO will be down to just 3 guys.
Yeah, 3 guys, but that's pretty much it, which is a little bit of a worry. Fast Kill, on the other hand, 3rd place team in the league thus far. AKO Legends, Tactical Intex, all these teams are still alive, so they do need to be a bit careful. I believe 4X-Men Expert as well, so that's another one in 7th place at the moment. But FSK Shark right here, looking to just swim around, try to get as much loot as possible. Here's AKO, yeah, and Umbrella Reborn still in the game.
And that is definitely going to be a minor X factor. The fact that Umbrella Reborn still has the entire squad alive and almost in the center of the circle where PXG Radicals is currently situated. Fast and Y on the southern side, getting gate capped by AKO. 7 teams left, and it seems like PXG Radicals might have a decent chance just because of where they are. But we said that in game 1, and PXG Radicals got completely wiped towards the bitter end just because of the blue zone. So we'll see if they can finally stick their footing. The fact that they are still alive is really a good news because that puts them so much closer to overtaking SAF.
AKO Legend playing a little bit passively here. They're just kind of fortifying those buildings, making sure that, the circle comes in. They're in a safe spot, at least for that part. They're looking to be, but Shark going super aggressive with the vehicle. His vehicle does get killed. Time Turner's going to be used, and it looks like Hanma is looking to cover his tracks, but Shark has gone in solo by himself. 1 versus 4. I don't know if that's the right call, especially with Hanma all the way in the back. Yun just trying to cover, trying to do what they can, but Decos, Rosux, and they end up getting the knock on Decos.
What a push from FSK. I mean, say what you want about Shark, but he might be a madman, but he's a madman in the right situation. Russell gets it down to Hanma, but the rest of FSK is come in and clean up shop. AKO Legends stood no chance. They bring Hanma back up. They thank him for his hard work, and now it's going to be FSK continuing the run into that final zone. And look at where they are. So safe from the chaos that is erupting in the center of the zone.
Yeah, and FASK, this is why they're third place, right? I was thinking, and I was like, this is a very risky play, but man, these guys are smart. They understand mechanically how they get the kill. They were all in like a SWAT team. Maybe it's because I don't comprehend SWAT tactics, but in this case, they proved to just show that, hey, they are the mechanically sound team that can end up winning the fight. They lost nobody on that one. Fast Kill just cleaning it up, and AKO Legend, again, not a great match for them. They're kind of reeling from these bad 2 matches.
And this is definitely not gonna look good for AKO for sure. I mean, Tactical Intex with the full squad alive, they are just rushing in to try to get those contests because they know that they don't have much time to work with, and just get a first knock on tomorrow. Forestman Expert trying to hold the fort, but ITX, they are in to conquer and also overtake, but it's not going to be easy. The Forestman Expert, they're putting out a fight, and Spade just cleaves through all of them with the side, cuts them down into ribbons. And Forestman Expert, they not only survive, but they keep everyone alive.
All right, I don't know how many scythe kills I've seen this league, but I think that's maybe the first and the second that I remember seeing, at least. That was pretty crazy by 4X right there, 4X Man Expert. And they're just looking to turn this all up. Spade just proving, hey, if you're going to go close quarters, I'm going to melee you to death. I'm going to have this scythe that has some decent amount of damage that's going to just get onto you. But Umbrella Reborn looking to fight this one with Almighty. There's a little bit of a skirmish in terms of Zay just trying to get his shotgun in. The glue walls are blocking most of the site. He's trying to jump over, trying to get some sort of vision on this. He's going to back off for now. Grizzly's going to be left there. He's kind of just peeking around the corner, does not want to go out in the open.
And Umbrella Reborn kind of trapped in the corner with Almighty now pushing in as well. Good grenade launcher from iPan. It's gonna down Jay-Z as he runs out, and that's gonna really stop Almighty in their tracks. Umbrella Reborn, they only got the first kill, but it might be the most crucial kill for them. Tanamo gets a nade onto Maru on the other side. This is a 2-way fight on 2 different ends. Insanity is also gonna try and run down Forestman Expert. You can see iPans, he is desperately trying to get some third-party action in, but PXG Radicals, they want to play Monopoly, and they will dominate that fight. Umbrella Reborn, they will not steal anything away. PXG Radicals gets a full team wipe onto Forestman Expert.
Oh, PXG, they've heard the call. They understand this situation. 38 points is all they need. They're definitely going to catch up in this one. SAF at this point are just praying somebody takes out PXG Radicals. I mean, they're the only team that can catch up to them, and they might on this one. But Umbrella Reborn going up against Almighty, they're looking to just duel this one out. Almighty's coming out the positives thus far, and they do eliminate Umbrella Reborn with the next triple kill from Ren.
Yeah, but Umbrella Reborn made it super costly for Almighty. They took out 2 members. So Almighty left with just 2 guys. FSK finally makes it into their final circle. A good grenade launcher does tag onto Tanamo, but it's not enough to take him down. Yun still has his nade, and we all know that this guy is really good with those utilities. He has been practicing this Kobe nades for a very long time, but can they take out PSG Radicals? That is the main question. With Almighty on the other end, this is going to be really tricky for FSK to deal with.
It's going to be tough here, but Hanma here, Fast Kill, they're looking to just kind of make their approach. They do need to be a bit careful. They're trying to gatekeep. They do see that Almighty need to make a move, but a nice grenade from Tanamo from downtown. What a grenade there. Realize that there was 2 there. You cannot get away from these grenades, and the fact that, the AoE damage is just insta-kill right there.
And you can see Tanamo, he's already going for the rush. He doesn't even wait. Almighty is going to be out. And Shark, he's just clinging on for dear life. They know he's hiding behind a rock, and that will be his final resting place. They will carve a tombstone out of that boulder. And PXG Radicals finally nails that booyah for themselves. Make it 11 throughout the entire league stage. PXG Radicals, they are on the rise for sure.
They get the booyah. This is going to keep them in. I would say, I'm going to go on a limb and say it's about 20 plus points right there. But PXG Radicals, they're definitely a stone throw away from catching up to SAF. Again, we're going to have to see how the standings actually played out with all of the kills they're putting on their, I guess that's his girlfriend right there. But, PXG Radicals just really proven to be very, very strong here. This is a formidable team. But let's see. Let's bring in the hosts, Danny Lee and Ice Baby. Back to in, and let's see what they have to say. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I feel you, man. Like, I like to annoy Danny all the way through because, my name is so cheesy to a point that, I've got a music for my name, man. Anyways, to get back into the details here and towards this final group stage for today, day number 1, was kind of interesting because Danny promised me Apex Predator is not a lot of praise. I'm sorry to say the top dogs are on the hunt because by second circle, we do see 4 teams completely being wiped out. And it's kind of interesting compared to the first 4 games, because this I don't know what happened, but there were just kills after kills across the map here, Danny.
I mean, I would almost argue that did we actually plan Bermuda? Because it's not your classic purgatory map. But the one thing I wanted to point out is, if I'm not mistaken, PXG Radicals are now approximately 10 points away from SAF. Approximately. I don't know the exact number. They were about 30-ish points away. So
About
assuming they got at least 20 kills during that round, they are essentially 1 round away from taking that first place spot away from SAF.
Well, we gotta hold that thought for now. Apparently, based on the standings as well, we'll wait for the official results a little bit more. Let's take a look into the highlights a bit more. It seems like every single team was just eyeing for this kind of kills here, and based on the previous 4 games, we did see like aggressive maneuvers kind of worked in the first 4 games between all the teams. Maybe some of these teams kind of took our advice, maybe took a little bit of advice from
Advice from
Husky
us?
as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
ew.
maybe, get a little bit aggressive, play the bloody hit, and you can see like they're just kills after kills, and this was only what, third circle, and there was left 7 teams. But one thing I want to talk about that was very interesting was this particular push between both Fast Kill as well as AKO. AKO had the initiative to kind of bait Fast Kill towards a very awkward position, and they got the initial kill. But Fast Kill, they were super aware of the fact that they have the advantage. They have the grenade launcher. They came in, they immediately wiped AKO, and AKO did not expect that at all.
I felt like just now what we saw from Tactical Intact, they could have placed higher if they wipe out 4X-Men Expert. I wouldn't say that push was a mistake. I think they had to do something. But 4X-Men Expert played that to perfection. I mean, Spade, no, he realized that guns are too basic, so he whips out a big sight and no one else has. And he just one-shots 3 guys from ITX. That really kept 4X-Men Expert alive. I'm not sure if it's enough to put them close to ITX or to overtake ITX in terms of points, but at least that was a great showing for the team. But obviously, PSG Radicals, this is their 11th booyah throughout the entire group stage.
Yeah, that's definitely the highest booyah thus far in the entire league stages here. And I definitely agree. PXG Radicals, it seems like they have a very clear objective. They just want to take down SAF from the get-go. They want to be the one true number 1. The team with the most amount of booyah sitting right at the top. And currently SFAF is pretty much still on the throne, I guess. Like that, I say approximately 10 more points. And fortunately for our Radicals, they still have 1 more game to go. But yeah, I want to bring back as well, on what sound mind would you take a scythe into a gunfight? Like, what was going through Tactical Index's mind and to be able to pull that off?
Yeah, it was you have to ask Spade. I mean, First-Man Expert were the one who won that, so you have to ask them why. That was not the first time Spade did it. I think he did it last week as well, where it came to close range and he just pulled out his sight and won the fight. In fact, I think the fact that PSG Radicals, initially we talked about how impossible it is to catch up to SAF, right? They have more than 100 points in terms of lead, and PSG Radicals were the only team, I would say, that is trying, and now they've closed the gap to literally 1 round. What else do I need to say? This team is just amazing.
At the start of the day, I talked about the miracle realm. I know you guys were kind of, pessimistic about me being optimistic.
Hey, hang on.
You were talking about Umbrella Reborn, okay?
Wait. Hold on. Let me rebuttal that, all right? So I was like, hoping that maybe the bottom side here, we do see maybe Zev Squad, maybe Matrix, they could have, pulled it up. Unfortunately, I misplaced my miracle for them. It should, currently the miracle is actually on Radicals here. They are literally going for the miracle run.
Look at this backpedaling.
Yeah, if it's on Radicals, it's not miracle, right? Okay, that is not miracle at all. Miracle, the definition of miracle is something impossible happening. So you can't take that back. There's no backtracking.
To be fair, I didn't think that PXG would be able to catch up to SAF. I thought the gap was just way too big. But looking at how PXG are playing during these last couple of weeks, these guys have really pulled out a showing, and I feel we really need to watch out for these guys going into the final round, because a team performing this well, this close to the final stage, it's a sign that they're peaking, and they're peaking at essentially the right time, which is going to be the final stage.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking forward to see it as well. But if and only if this final match, PXG Radicals once again get a really dominant performance, even though the trend and morale as well as the momentum is swinging the other way, I feel like if they do take that spot right now, tomorrow's game, I feel like it is going to be a battle between SAF as well as PXG, and to find out who is going to be the champions here. However, now, seeing how match 5 is going to be on its way, PXG Radicals getting themselves 22 points in that match there, Danny.
Yeah, so they're roughly within that 10-point range to get SAF. Just the question is, can they maintain this consistency? Because we have, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say this, we have seen PXG have horrendous rounds. And we saw this last week, actually, where PXG, they bombed out in their matchup versus Group C. So the possibility can still, of them just basically screwing up, it can happen, right? So it's up to PXG Radicals and whether or not they can maintain their form today to take over SAF. And if anything, they want to try and build up as much of a lead as they possibly can, because then it'll be up to SAF to catch up, not next week, sorry, tomorrow, because tomorrow is the final play day.
You know, I know you're excited to head into the finals rounds very soon, and yeah, I definitely agree. Based on the current trend right now, PXG Radicals, they look like a force to actually overcome the #1 spot. And this final game, it is kind of going to be crazy. And currently, I know everybody is going to be excited to redeem themselves some codes because it is going to be flashing right now up on screen. And with the validity going to be limited all the way to the end of the stream, so better redeem it right now. We are down towards the final match very soon, and if you don't redeem it right now, you probably need to wait tomorrow.
No, you won't even be able to wait till tomorrow.
Oh, no.
You lose that code period.
New code tomorrow. Okay,
yes,
sorry.
New code tomorrow. So make sure you claim the codes, okay? Don't miss out. Now, speaking of missing out, don't go anywhere, okay? Because we have one more game left for today, and it is going to be, again, A versus C, the monster group. And the question we have on the panel is, can PXG Radicals dethrone SAF, who have been on the top of the leaderboard for practically the entirety of the group stage? We're just about to find out, as now we're going to be jumping right into Bermuda. Hall and Husky, take it away. Is the dream coming alive for PXG Radicals?
I think the dream is going to come alive. I mean, they're 16 points away, but thank you so much, Danny and Icy Baby 1-2. We're going to go into Bermuda. This is going to be match 6, and all it takes is 16 points for PXG Radicals. Of course, this is not the finish line. We still have one more day tomorrow, but you're going to put SAF on notice if they get dethroned from that #1 position. And are we going to see that? What do you think, Husky?
I would say yes. I think by the end of this round, PXG Radicals will be ahead of SAF. I mean, even if they don't, right? Tomorrow, the fight is still gonna end up being, a very close one with just a 1-round differential. But to plant my foot down and to be, as convincing as I can, I think PXG Radicals can actually do it by the end of the final round.
Okay, I just wanted to hear you say that because I think Blacklist International, the actual thing that's going to happen is they're going to be eliminated first because of your prediction.
Yeah, Bermuda, maybe not. No, I'm looking at Barba right now and I'm getting super worried. Like, he is so far away from home. He's dropping right into the territory of Blacklist International. But maybe Zep Squad and AKO Legend can give us a decent opening, because it seems like Zep Squad have already lost blade. AKO Legends this time is making it difficult for Zep Squad to have a run like they did in the previous round. Decos does get picked back up. AKO Legends, they've drawn first blood.
And one team that does need to pick it up, AKO Legend, Blacklist International, Almighty. These are 3 teams that have been on the decline thus far. They have not had great days in the past 2, that is. They haven't gotten the kills. So AKO Legend getting an early kill here, nice start to them. They need to finish strong, especially since this is the last match of the day. But AKO Legend just kind of peeking around. They're going to stick around and try to pick off the rest of Zeth, who they know is down a player.
Yeah, and if there's a chance for AKO to rack up some points, this is it. But looking how Zep Squad has been performing in the past few rounds, you definitely have to give them a bit of respect, right? You can't just run them down like you have been doing for the past 4 or 5 weeks. AKO definitely showing a bit of reserves, making sure that they don't overcommit. And of course, for Zep Squad, they know that they can't really run away too far, so they will just try their best to make the final stands against AKO.
Yeah, and Rosak's actually got shot a little bit. He's going to have to back off now, but they haven't been able to draw a beat on the rest of Zeth, who are kind of scattered throughout. There's too many different buildings, different elevation, very hard to find exactly, where I can start clicking some heads, so to speak. And Taken is just looking to peek around, and it looks like they're going to back off here, just kind of get more utility, more items to kind of keep them into the late game. But it looks like they're going to play a little bit more passively and not go aggressive and just try to eliminate Zeth early.
And Zeth, look at Monarch. He is going towards the high ground just to get a bit of an eagle's eye view of where AKO Legend will be. And Zeth squad, it seems like they really are planning to to go for that last stand. But AKO Legend, they have the same idea. In fact, they're gonna send Russell and Decos to the same high ground. So it's gonna be a 2-on-1, and Monarch, not sure if he's spotted. I don't think AKO saw him. This could be crucial for Monarch. There's a lot of info given over to Zeth squad.
Oh, he shoots him right from the back, and the surprise is on, but the glue walls are on as well. The grenade is going to be out. Decos does need to be a bit careful. That was a flash, excuse me. And it looks like they're going to try to run and use the cover of the glue walls, but Taken is so low. He's isolated by himself. Where's the rest of his team? Monarch does end up getting the kill on Decos, and that's the assault that we talked about, the surprise, the ambush that happened, and Monarch is looking to fight, but he gets knocked, and no, Rosax does end up winning that firefight on a 2v1.
Oh, that was almost huge for Zeth squad. I mean, a really good attempt from Monarch to make it happen. If he got that Overwatch taken out, I think Zeth squad would have been able to win this fight. But because they did not, AKO was able to keep everyone alive, and now they are here to make the Zeth squad pay. At least Lav is going to be the one that sacrifices his life, but he takes a jump pad and he gets out just in the nick of time.
He flew that one first class because that was so close, and he just got out there in the nick of time. He flies right in, and it looks like AKO Taken is taken out by Aoki there, and Decos is looking to just fight this one, and Embalor is going on in. AKO, this is a fight that they go in. Decos is looking to just get the knock there. Embalor is looking to just fight this one, trying to get into the time turner. He does. Rosax doesn't get the knock on Embalor.
Yeah, I mean, Wheels did not inform AKO Legends that they are coming in on an inbound flight. And of course, when you breach the a foreign a flight zone, this is what happens. Wheels gets completely destroyed by AKO Legend. Sure, AKO Legend they lost Taken, but 6 points to start things off in the first 5 minutes. That is great for the team.
Yeah, and it looks like they were flying in, trying to, respect the whole social distancing thing, because they didn't jump in together. They kind of like spaced each other out as they were going in, and they literally went in one by one, and they just got picked off in the end. So just not a great play there. They need to all be together or not on those situations, because you don't know what's at the end of that. And it looks like FSK here are looking to just kind of peek around. They do know that 4X is nearby, but this is going to be an interesting skirmish as we get into the next zone.
Wheels bombing out with 0 points is good news for Freedom Rumble, because at least Freedom Rumble knows that Wheels is not gonna go any farther than the points that they have right now. So there's still some chance for Freedom Rumble to potentially make it to top 12 tomorrow, and it's eliminating Wheels. I mean, Wheels had a good run, but the fact that they're back in 12th spot is a display of a slight inconsistency from team from time to time. But FSK, they did get into a bit of a scuffle with Forest Man Expert, but it seems like the men, they're running away.
Yeah, and just so you know, the gap difference between Freedom Rumble and Woos is only 26 points. That's going to be the story to watch, at least for tomorrow, because it's going to be looking to be the last one in. That said, Do Easy, Bloody Head, they both have 344 points. They're done for the day as well. So everybody, so very tight. We're going to have a tight finish to this league. But Umbrella Reborn, just looking to just kind of fortify this area. They're kind of spread out. One Ipans is on top. He's doing a little roofing as he's looking to just kind of peek out here on the FSK, who are nearby, but they haven't been able to draw a bead. Ipans hopefully looking for somebody to just peek their head out.
And Umbrella Reborn has had a pretty amazing day. Racking up decent points, taking out one of a few of the bigger teams. But FSK is a completely different beast. Fastkill NY, they have proven to be one of the most aggressive team, maybe second to PXG Radicals at this stage of the league. Something that Umbrella Reborn is respecting, but Manflank gets a good shot onto Barbara, and that is PXG Radicals losing one of the members.
That's a pretty big kill, especially early. They really needed that. Black has just been reeling after some, bad game after bad game, and Black really need to just kind of right the ship. They need to figure something out that's needs to work. Getting that early pickoff will help them. That said, Black International with just 1 kill thus far, but it looks like they're going to look to redeploy their troops into a different area.
That's definitely going to be a good call. Just loot up as much as you can, get those utilities in. I think utilities in Free Fire is so crucial, right? You're after every single fight, you're probably going to be using 6-7 glue walls per person. Then you have your med kits you need to worry about. Then you have to carry your inhaler. I mean, the amount of space that utility takes up in this game is unreal. But that also shows how important those things are. PSG Radicals, they lost Barbara. That should at least send them a message of not playing too aggressive just because they can't afford to. But this doesn't mean that PSG are out just yet. They're still a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, you're never say die, especially since you got Ramiel, Insanity, Tanamo. These guys, everybody is very, very an equal contributor on this team. There's no MVP that's going to just kind of stick out and just take over the games. I mean, you have very high skilled, mechanically sound players on this team. Anyone can turn it up at any moment. So, PXG, they're not out until literally everybody's dead. That said, XBR, they've got 3 players as well, but Zeth is the struggling one with only 2 players left. They're looking to just survive as they go into a firefight right now against Fastkill. And they're trying to flank them on that side, but I don't think that's a good decision at this point.
And one day Fastkill will overcommit, right? Because Umbrella Reborn is nearby. It seems like Yon is just going to go for the push straight into a double vector. This doesn't go down. It has the glue wall to keep himself safe, but it's also going to be the green light for the rest of Fastkill MY to start making their push. And Zev Squad was able to buy some time for themselves. That means they will fully evacuate from the area, meaning leaving Fastkill MY to deal with Umbrella Reborn.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this is the right play. I mean, Pochinook, this is a very dense area. It's a lot of urban warfare, so to speak, and just kind of sweeping through. You need to kind of clean out every single building as you go through, which is very time consuming. If not, you can get ambushed at any moment. So they do need to be a little bit careful here. Now, the circle's been, somewhat advantageous to them in the sense that they don't need to redeploy anywhere else. But if we're looking at what Zeth is doing, they're going all the way around the southern eastern area. They're going to look to just flank around, just avoid any sort of fight here. But Na, with some long-range fires, shots into the building, is not going to connect on any.
You're holding this watchtower near factory. Again, cannot brain being gate kept at least for now. Circle still in the second phase. 35 more seconds until we get the third one. That is going to be crucial on Bermuda. That's where teams on this very tiny map will start converging into the center. Nael from Tactical Intex does get the kill onto Cobra, so Blacklist International facing a contender in the form of ITX. It seems like Tactical Intex, they have the intention to completely surround Blacklist International.
Yeah, they're going to try to wrap around. This is very aggressive because it's wide out in the open. They do need to be careful. Batman, on the other hand, he's got a sniper. He did get a kill prior to this one, but Umbrella Error gets a kill in return. But Almighty just kind of out in the open. They do need to be careful about 4X there as they're trying to wrap around here. But this is going to be Spade kind of out in the open. Jay-Z's trying to draw a bead. Very difficult shot. I don't know if he can hit this one.
This is going to be a long shot as well. But if there's one thing that Almighty is good at, it is Batman with his sniper. If he has one. I mean, the UAV is going to spot them out. So not too good of a place to hide in anymore. Just because your position has been completely compromised. Tactical Intex continuing that push onto Blacklist International. And this is going to force Blacklist to just fight. They cannot evade this encounter anymore. Trix is gonna down Clanks, Blacklist International just down to 2 and make it one-man flank, not in a position to provide any sort of backup. It's now gonna start running away just to buy as much time as possible, but they will just chase him down. He's on the second floor and they know it. Jay-Z can take Amaru on the other side of the map, but it's a matter of time before Blacklist International gets sent into the lobby, and this is it. Shooks will do the killing blow. ITX with 4 points.
What a bad turn of events right there for Black, right? In the Blacklist. They were like they were prior to this fight, they were kind of sticking together, they were playing together, and then all of a sudden they're just isolated, they're kind of completely spread out. But as I say this, Almighty gets the kill on 4X-Men Expert, eliminating them, and it looks like there's going to be 8 teams left. Blacklist International, they really needed to find something a little bit better for themselves, just get eliminated with poor positioning. Nobody was really in position to help to each other out.
Yeah, I mean, Almighty, that's the Almighty we want to see, not the Almighty that just waits, wait for something to happen. We want to see a proactive one, and that was exactly the demonstration. They take out Forestman Expert. Definitely it didn't felt like the cleanest of pushes, but they have to try, and break free of that very conservative and passive playstyle. The circle does favor the teams on that southeastern side, Almighty included. PSG Radical still having a lot of control over the map. They can actually gatekeep ITX if they want to.
They have control, but 0 kills, and only 3 players to their name. So if anything, they're going to have to be very smart with how they approach things, right? Make sure that they don't get overwhelmed by, a full squad that might be just running through. So they're going to have to look for that easy pickoff, try to find something. But Almighty with another snipe shot, they're getting a decent amount of kills this game, so Almighty is a team you need to look out for. But Insanity, it looks like they're going to just kind of bunker down in this building, just take what they can. But Insanity just hugging this corner, a little dangerous, at least for me, especially with Zeth right around the corner.
And ITX as well. They are approaching from the northern side. So PSG Radicals, if they want to make a move, they got to do it right now, and they got to make sure that everything is clean. I mean, Tana will run straight into an ambush, but Insanity is there to back him up. It's going to be a 2 versus 2 bloodbath, and Zep Squad did not stand a chance. And just as they eliminate Zep Squad, they caught a glimpse of Tactical Intex, and Tactical Intex, they're actually going straight for the rush, and PSG Radicals, now they will have to make a choice. Zipno comes in from behind, takes out Insanity, which means PSG Radicals will be forced to fight. Raymail also gets dropped. Tanamo is 1 against 4 with the Time Turner at the helm to help him out. Tanamo down to 14 HP. Can he really make this happen? No, he cannot. ITX shuts that show down, and PSG Radicals, at least by the end of the day, will still not be able to overtake SAF.
I love the play of Tactical Intex there. 0 hesitation, saw that the fight just happened. Zeth had just been eliminated, realizing that PXG would probably be looking to just heal themselves and just, play things a little bit slow. They got completely caught off guard. Tactical Intex, very strong, very bold move there by being very aggressive and taking them out there. Really well played by Tactical Intex.
And that's gonna keep Tactical Intex again in a running, and we pay so much attention to how PSG Radicals are stone throws away from SAF. Tactical Intex, they're also in the same position, against Fastkill and Y. In fact, I think from what we know so far, they are around 23 points away. So one good game for ITX, and they should be able to catch up to Fastkill and Y, or at least get super close to overtaking that 3rd place. I mean, FSK, they're still in the game, but they only have 2 guys with no kills.
Yeah, it's going to be a struggle. Tactical Intex, this has been a team on the rise. This is a team that's super, on point, starting to peak properly. I mean, if you see their logo right now, they're on fire. And it's not because it's like a bad fire. It's like because they're so hot, right? In terms of all of their shots, everything that they're doing is just been a very good decision for them. They're looking to just kind of rush up on them. Fast Kill, on the other hand, they do get a nice little pick off, shoots a guy in the back, because that's what you do when you're just, playing like a little, coward, I would say. But Fast Kill looking to try to turn this one up, and it looks like they've been eliminated. Shark at a sliver of life, and they've been eliminated 6th.
But both of them went down to the blue zone, so no points for any teams, any other teams out there. I guess at least that's one way to take away what your enemies want to get. AKO, 3 guys left with 6 kills on the low ground, having to deal with ITX as Nga is going to get shot from behind by iPans, and Umbrella Reborn becoming the X factor of this fight again. But the circle is not going to favor anyone. ITX, just look at them, they're barreling down from on top of the hill. They know that they have the advantage. Those nades are starting to fly in, and unfortunately for both Raso and Dekos, both of them are trapped behind this glue wall, and that nade's going to come right in from Shugs, takes out Raso. Dekos will immediately revive him, but that's going to take some time, and a couple of seconds was all ITX needed to get another wipe onto AKO Legend, and that's going to rack up their kills to 9.
Yeah, they thought they were safe hiding behind those glue walls, just praying to, anyone, the Lord above, just to stay alive. But when you could just grenade them, they got nowhere else to go, right? It's going to be thoughts and prayers to that team as they get eliminated there. But it looks like there's going to be 3 teams left. ITX is one of them. They've been incredibly strong here. Almighty and Umbrella Reborn. Literally reborn today, right?
Yeah. I mean, Umbrella Reborn, they are doing such a good job, but we also saw, I believe, Jay-Z getting a great snipe onto Shooks. ITX brings him back up, but UMB now they're gonna chip in and they're unhappy with Almighty, so they are giving ITX a hand as Tactical Intex will take this chance to rotate downhill as UMB continues to pummel Almighty into submission, and that gives him a couple of chances to take a shot. But he's gonna betray Umbrella Reborn by firing at UMB. So this 3-way fight is super messy. Everything in favor of ITX though, as they rack up their double digits kill. It's 10 under the belt, and they're about to take out Almighty. It's down to both Batman and Shira to attempt to make a difference, but Shira is gonna be gunned down. ITX going in for the finisher, and they have done it. They close out the day with a booyah. Tactical Intex might have just made it to 3rd place.
It was really unfortunate for Umbrella Reborn. They were on the prowl. They were making their way in. They were third-partying as much as possible. But then at the very, very end, when they had 3 players left, they actually ran out of glue walls. They were wide out in the open, and they were looking at each other like, hey, you don't have a glue wall? I don't have a glue wall. What do we do? And they all got shot out there. And it looks like Tactical Intex just playing it strong, very, very, very clean. They had 10-plus kills. This is a team that you need to be careful about. I don't care if you're SAF, PXG Radicals, or, whatever it is. But hey, that iPhone that guy's holding and that drink that he's got, Tactical Intex, proving to be a very strong team. Even Fast Kill Malaysia need to be careful as they go into the last day.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think the secret to winning rounds in MCP Major is girlfriend buff, a snack buff, and I think phone buff. And these players have been showing us, at least the Malaysian players have been showing us all of that. The Filipino players, they don't need to show any of that. They're just naturally talented. But let's bring back both IC Baby 1-2 and Dana Lee, because we have a lot to unpack for this final round. ITS with their booyah, they might have just done enough to catch up to top 3.
They might have, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where they're going to end up on the leaderboard. Such a shame though that PXG, they were so close to being able to overthrow SAF, but it seems like tomorrow is going to be the deciding day on who's going to end up being on top. If it's going to be SAF that decide they're going to pull out their secret weapon, or if it's going to be PXG off of just a really good run for these past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There was a crazy game thus far because we saw a lot of teams kind of prioritize on Pochino a little bit more, just because hey, in that first circle, that's pretty much arguably the safest spot to be in. There's a lot of houses, you kind of gotta sneak your way through. And what was really surprising was that by the first circle, at least a good amount of 4 to 5 teams had the same idea, which caused a huge cluster of teams in kind of stuck into a Pochino. And I believe Fast Kill was kind of trapped in that little position to be in as well. PXG as well. They were in this predicament where, hey, it's only the second circle. Do we want to push out? Should we not? Nah, you know what? Let's bang on the fact that there's not a lot of people. But to my surprise, everyone was just setting their targets onto a Pochino, whereas ITX was pretty much roaming on the mountain terrain, just picking off everyone they can see. And I don't know, I feel like ITX, they've adopted the bloody hit meta.
Yeah, they could be. I mean, we've seen that teams that play aggressive have been really rewarded, especially in today's matches, right? Teams that actively look for these kills, they've been able to outplay all these teams that are trying to play more along the lines of points and placement, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I thought it was weird because I was expecting PXG to really go off on Bermuda, because you would think that their playstyle would be perfect, but it just. Maybe it was a case of the team choking a little bit, thinking, okay, guys, let's play ultra safe to guarantee those extra points that we need. No, that just doesn't fly for PXG, apparently.
Yeah, I guess they were struggling to actually hold on towards their compound as well. Initially, they were doing fantastically well, but eventually, it was just too hard to handle. That someone might have made a mistake here, utility-wise. It was kind of surprising that PXG, they finally decided to play the defensive stance after getting extremely aggressive in 3 games. So maybe it just did not work out. But eventually, I want to talk a little bit more on how ITX played in his final circle. Zipnu, he was playing out his mind. He was holding sniper. He was just poking his way through, and he was he was willing to tank the zone to a point just because he had this advantage in terms of vantage point to kind of apply pressure to not just both Almighty, also the teams coming out for Chino, which was really insane. And I must say, ITX, they're just looking fearless in this finals game, and hopefully it will garner themselves a little bit more points to push themselves in the better placements.
And I'm just looking at the numbers right now. Surprisingly, right, as much as we say Fast Kill NY is a super aggressive team, they actually have lesser kill compared to Tactical Intex, which is something that I don't think a lot of people would expect, right? They beat Tactical Intex in terms of placements, but in terms of kills, Tactical Intex have way more kills than Fast Kill, which is something that I only just realized, after so long.
It's interesting, right? Like, for the past few games, it's like, hey, we didn't exactly see too much about Tactical Index. Oh, they're there. They kind of fall off like 5th, 6th place. And then we just focus on a PXG. We focus on SAF. We focus on bloody hits here and there. But in this particular game, what was really interesting was that Tactical Index, they were very consistent in taking aggressive fights. Like, they're not afraid to just engage the fight, just try and wrap it up as quickly as they can. And it's interesting because usually these are things that you don't exactly do too much, because sometimes you're afraid of third parties, sometimes you're afraid of potential losing position, or maybe even losing out into the circle rotation, and they're just like, they make a quick decisive moment. By round 5, you know what, we know Pochino is going to be a lot of people, we're going to play outside. The moment the circle shifts out in the open, they immediately clear out the guys up top, and immediately they have this vantage point which kind of allowed Zipnu to kind of just do his thing, which is kind of interesting, but it kind of paid off for them.
I'm really keen to see what's going to happen tomorrow, really, right? Because, guys, we have to remember, this is the second last play day for the group stage. After today, every team only has 4 more matches left to get their points in. And Tactical Intex, they managed to take in a behemoth 24-point total in this round alone. I really want to see what's going to happen with them on the leaderboard. Almighty's also been able to push himself up, and AKO Legends. Unfortunately for Umbrella Reborn, I don't think these points are going to make that much of a difference. Icy Baby did point out they had to pull out a complete dream run today if they were going to try and make it to top 12, but yeah, today's not the dream run, unfortunately.
Hey, I'm not too sure about how the overall standings here. They want to get a little bit consistent. They gotta go. I feel like they've gotta go for the dream run. I feel that this is pretty okay. But now let's take a look at the overall standings thus far. Let's take a look at the top 2. 10 points apart. PXG, Radicals, and also SAF here, Danny.
Okay, assuming PXG play out of their minds tomorrow and SAF either play average or bomb out, we're going to be looking at some new kings. But I'm scared I'll jinx it. I'm going to have to ask everyone else. Husky, Haulet, are we going to have new kings tomorrow?
I mean, I'm probably the worst person to ask, because I've jinxed every single thing I've said so far.
You see?
But I would say yes. I think we will.
You think so? Okay, all right. So they're definitely not going to be in. Okay, I think that's the curse that we've seen from Husky. I mean, you called it last game. They were all down 16 points. They only got 6 points there. It's going to be a close one as we go into the final day tomorrow. It's just a 10-point difference. But let's look at 9th, 10th, 11th, and potentially 12th in this position. Right? 347 points by Argon Malaysia. 344 Dooeasy Bloodyhead tied. Notice that the Booyah is the tiebreaker. Woos is going to be on the 341, and then we're talking about Freedom Rumble. How far these guys have fallen, right? Are these guys able to catch back up into maybe the 12th spot? Who really knows? Because Argon Malaysia, Dooeasy, Bloodyhead, Woos, these 4 teams, any of these guys could technically lose out if Freedom Rumble have an awesome day tomorrow.
Hang on. I need to ask Statsman Hauler here, okay? How many times has Freedom Rumble been able to get about 30 points in a day?
Let me Freedom Rumble. Hang on, let me just check this. They've gotten 34 points play day 8, as well as day 1 or 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 8. So they have been able to get 30 or more points.
They've done it in the past.
It's the whole consistency thing. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, so that's been all in the past. Have they done it within the second half of the season? Or were most of them during the first half? I'm genuinely curious because these stats could determine their fates tomorrow.
They had it on day 8, and that was it. The second half for these guys have been terrible. They've scored 14, 27, 23, 15. This is just not a great, consistency out of this team.
Okay, because
it's kind of worrisome as well, considering that, they haven't like they need to actually try to find these points to actually qualify. And in my mind, I was like, hey, you know, technically they still are not out of it. And I was a little bit surprised in the final game where Views was going all in against this really aggressive push against AKO and get completely taken out in this final game. And I thought it was extremely ballsy. And in my mind, hey, is this a risky play? Is this just them potentially giving an opportunity for Freedom Rumble? But based on the lead here and based on what the stats I've heard so far, I think that maybe they just think that Freedom Rumble might not make it at all tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's my fear.
I think the 30 plus points, you know, consistency is in a vacuum where Freedom Rumble wins and no one else gets points, right? Like everyone's gonna get points tomorrow, so
They have to offset the additional points.
yeah. So that's the scary part.
It's a bit of a worry here for Freedom Rumble, but you know what? Let's go into a bit of a worry-free state because, as you can see down below at the bottom of the screen, make sure you claim the code for today because this code is about to expire. Everyone can claim it, so make sure you share this with your friends, your family, everyone that you know that plays Free Fire. Share the code, let them claim the goodies as well, because unfortunately this will expire at the end of this stream. And if you do miss out on the goodies for today, it's okay, because we are going to come back tomorrow with some more Free Fire action, which also means more Free Fire goodies for you guys to claim. So if you don't get it today, make sure you come back for tomorrow, because not only are you going to get free goodies, it's the final day where our teams are competing for those top 12 spot to make it to the final stage. This is still the group stage of the MCP majors. Guys, I want to hear your final thoughts. What are we going to be looking at happening tomorrow? Are we going to be seeing some crazy shenanigans?
Battle of
Ready
the
for a
Kings,
new
man.
king. I'm ready for a new king.
Battle of the Kings. Let's go. PXG Radicals versus well, I'm just all for PSG Radicals, man. Like, I want to see them take the SAF. Like, I'm on board with Husky. It's like, Husky, yo, SFA died. Yeah, man. Let's go. New Kings. Let's go.
That was not my reaction, but you can't drag me down like that.
Yeah, I wanted to believe in PXG, but seeing as Husky has just cursed them, I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see SAF as the kings. They're going to continue on. They will continue to be kings until there's a red wedding somewhere in the league. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So I think that you're going to see SAF on top, and that's going to continue on.
All right. Well, thank you so much to our wonderful casters and IC Baby as well. That's going to conclude our second last day of the group stage of the MCP Majors Season 2. Make sure to come back to tomorrow. It's our final day for our teams to qualify. Who's going to make it through? Only find out tomorrow. As for us, we're going to go for a quick, I guess it's a long break, right? We're going back to tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Talk can't defeat us. Step on my toes, I get in your face. Nobody's ever taken our place. We're here to tell you, we're gonna tell you, you can't knock us down. Come on and take your best shot. We were born for tonight. We were born
aku jadi buah mulut. Game berduit berdatang dengan duit berkeput. Stadium penuh, penonton menggila. Ratu turun padan tapi kekal di singgah sana. Ranggi, kasut tinggi, kasih cuak. Pantas, cantas, kasih gertak. Kilauanku bersinar, mata mereka berpinarkan ku lawan. Tawan sampai habis pusingan, buai laju-laju sampai pokok sena on fire. Duduk tepi dan terpana, akulah juara dan aku naik tata tiba kini. 3, 2, 1 kita berapi revolusi. Ku di sini ku selusi, persaing tertinggi namaku masuk mimpi. Kalau bukan aku beritahu, aku siapa lagi mat. Tenang korang keluar, aku buka silat. Siapa nak kau nak jomah. Datang nak serang hendak tapi mengalah. Bagiku seminit aku kapten kau rebah. Macam disengat lebah, aku menang penuh gah. To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to ya.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to ya.
To the max, to the max, to the max, to the max.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to ya.
To the front, to the back, to the front, to the back.
I'ma take it to the max, I'ma take it to ya. Ku pernah di sini, dah ku alami. Perang dalam hati, didugai. Pemberontak sejati, batu di tangan ini. Ku gali dalam aku jantung untuk yang kecunda. Selam laut, pembawa maut, nyawa terpaut. Jasad tercabut tapi api marah tu yang tersangkut. Dan aku tak kisah, pasal nemesis baik. Gadai semua hutang, orang pulang saya sampai high. Bertempur hadap musuh dan kala mereka leka sibuk kibar bendera. Ku serang to the max, pusingan berkali bertubi-tubi tak henti. Habis jemput apa yang ni, muka gelang-gelang. Hiu kembara pada lawan penuh dendam. Naluriku bersatu, itu saja senjata ku genggam. Takkan ku mundur, takkan ku mengalah. Walau dirobohkan ku bina lebih gagah. Tinggi di langit tempat ku berdiri. Sengit mana pun aku takkan lari. Itu bunyi